That froze for me for a second. Hello and welcome to Occasional Levity, the show about nothing. That's not right. This is a show about something. I just don't know what. I'm Beverly, and today is Friday, October 14th, 2022. Our guest today is Daniel Wagner from Unframe of Mind. But first, let's do some housekeeping with my co-hosts, Alex and Juliet.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you guys doing?
Great.
All right.
I'm not sure if it froze for you guys, but that's why I was just watching the intro and it like paused and then there was nothing and then I was on screen. I'm like, oh, I guess I should talk now. So
I think that was for you.
Okay, good. I'm glad it was just me who was confused because that's my general disposition. So book club, we've got a book club. Juliet, do you want to do that? And did you decide on a time yet?
Slaughterhouse 5 on October
We decided
30th.
on the book. We got the book done.
I don't like. Is it 2 a weird time?
Eastern?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I think that's fine.
Okay, we're gonna do 2. We just decided live on air.
11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Eastern, Sunday, October 30th, Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt Vonnegut.
Yes.
If you guys want to join, then email me or message me anywhere at all. I'm pretty easy to find, but it's speak@unsafespace.com or beverly@unsafespace.com. So then you can be on screen. Alex is always there. Juliet's going to be hosting it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to not let it go off the tracks. It's gonna be great, guys.
Yeah, no, I'm believing you. I think you can handle this. And yesterday totally forgot to talk about movie club. Like I did a movie night in our Discord last night to watch Pumpkinhead, and I meant to talk about that on the stream last night because it's like, oh, we're doing this right afterward, but I totally forgot. But in my defense, it's because I also totally forgot that we were going to do a movie night after the stream, and I didn't remember until right after we were done. So,
and I didn't remember because I was streaming.
You were streaming your own. Yeah.
So I it was not even on my radar. I was like, oh, I'm streaming after.
Apparently it wasn't on mine either. I think I just saw something and I was like about to oh, I'm done for the night. And oh yeah, gotta go watch this movie, which, spoiler alert, this monster Pumpkinhead doesn't even look like a pumpkin. I was annoyed by this. Like a great deal. Yeah. So on Monday we've got Narrative Dissonance with Juliet and Carter. Do you know who the guest is, Juliet?
I sure don't.
Okay. We're really good at this planning stuff. Well, I don't know. Carter usually lets us know like at the last minute too. Right. So we never seem to know things. And then we'll have the regular stuff throughout the week. Next Friday, we're planning on releasing an interview that Alex did with the CEO of Utreon, Edward Brower. That was a great conversation. For those of you who don't use Utreon, utreon.com. It's like a subscription service, like Subscribe Star, but you also can upload videos and do like exclusive content and things too. Alex was really gushing over it the whole time. And I think I've killed enough time here. I see Daniel has returned back to his seat. Waiting for me to disappear. So let's bring on our guest, Daniel Wagner, and he can introduce himself more because I don't know anything about him. Never met him before.
Thanks. Hey, by the way, I was hearing you the whole time. I'm just working on yet another video off to the side while I was waiting for you to introduce me.
Multitasker. No, it's fine. Well, we were talking about other stuff anyway, so it's fine.
Absolutely. So just to let the audience know, my name is Daniel Wagner. I am the host of the Unframe of Mind show, where we have uncomfortable conversations without a condom. And me and my co-host Anthony Trewick, we love to talk about social issues and relationships and bold ideas and LOLs. We like to just have a good time, make skits, and just post about highbrow ideas and lowbrow packaging. That's pretty much it.
Ooh,
I love the without a condom because I feel like it really tells you what to expect tone wise.
Absolutely. I might be a branding genius in the making. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure I know how to communicate ideas. And just like you said, that is exactly what you're going to expect. You're going to have some blue collar comedy all the way through. We're going to cuss. We're going to have guttural jokes. We're not, we're like the dude you hang out with while you're having a beer, talking about philosophy and ideas and concepts and sometimes current events, but we've gotten away from that.
It's all raw dogging it. Without a condom. I think that's what it's called. All right. Well, let's just jump into then. And if there's anything else going on with Daniel, do you have anything upcoming that you want to talk about?
Yeah,
Or like,
I mean, I've got 4 kids, so I mean,
oh
without
my
the kid,
gosh.
you're kinda-
Well, let's not talk about that. That sounds awful.
No,
Just
no.
way to bring
Honestly,
the show down.
we've been working on a number of other types of content and trying to get a number of other videos put together at the moment. One project I'm currently working on, which I need to hurry up and finish. I got 2 more pieces I need to film for it, but the general idea, it's a skit where I am identifying as a hot chick and have been for about 4 months. And at the point of this video, I am so upset because I have not received all the followers that I deserve. As a hot chick, I should have lots of followers. I'm very upset because I have not received a single unsolicited dick pic. And like the entire, like, I'm very upset about this. And that's the whole gist of the video as it goes on. And ironically enough, I went to take feet pics because apparently I'm, as a hot chick, I sell feet pics. Apparently I have very photogenic feet. I didn't even, it was not on purpose, I promise, but it came out looking like almost professional level photo with my damn phone.
Did you start an OnlyFans then? Because I think
no, but I probably should just for the jokes. Just for the jokes.
Yeah.
I probably should.
And then you'll make some actual money because I bet people are into it.
Oh
so.
my god! If anybody wants pictures of my feet,
I do not. I hate feet. I don't even like looking at mine.
I do construction, so I wear work boots all day. I don't know how cute they.
I really like picturing after like a hard day's work of construction, you take off these super manly boots and you have like just the most like pedicured feet.
Oh my god! All the women, all the times I've heard about women like selling their socks online and take like they'll go out on jogs just to get them good and sweaty so they can sell them to dudes who want them. I'm like, what dude is buying them? But then again, I mean, if there's a market demand for it, I mean, somebody's got to provide, I guess. So
no, I agree with that. I just
more power to you
with the interest in it.
So. Like, I mean, there's the girl who's selling her farts in jars.
Oh yeah.
The thing about that one though is that, like, to me, I'm sort of like, she literally was selling her farts. She like, and it's like, I don't think anyone could have been able to tell, like, whether or not she like sprayed like a fart spray in it versus like not, versus actually farting. But she actually did all the farts, and it put her in the hospital, made her sick.
Did it?
And I'm
really?
Like, yeah, it did.
Yeah,
like a dumbass.
Whatever her diet was, she was trying to make it so that she would actually be able to produce more. There was apparently a really high demand. So
So
I realized that happened.
like never once in my life have I thought, man, I would love to smell a girl's fart right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, there's just no world where that has even started across my mind.
How did she learn that was a thing that there was a market for?
Although I gotta ask, out of the 4 of us here, who do we think might have the most marketable farts? I mean,
I think Daniel.
I could already tell you my shit don't stink,
Well, I'm the one with IBS, so.
So you got me beat on supply. Okay. I'll take quality. You take quantity. How about that?
All right. I'm right into the toilet humor today.
I know.
Steph
who
Queen
knew
says,
that we could tell fart jokes for 30 minutes and people would stay tuned?
Oh, I'm gonna talk about anything forever. But she says, I don't fart, I release kisses to the universe. How much does that cost? Can you put that in a jar? All right, let's so Tulsi Gabbard, that's what we put on the thumbnail and the news and stuff too. She left the Democratic Party, and she says here, I can no longer remain in today's Democratic Party that is now under the complete control of an elitist cabal of warmongers driven by cowardly wokeness who divide us by racializing every issue and stoke anti-white racism, actively work to undermine our God-given freedoms and it continues on. But
I just want to applaud you first for that lack of transition.
Yes. It was one breath. I was like trying to do it without inhaling, and I'm like, I'm running out because she's still going here. I mean,
I know,
cool,
it's her whole speech written out, actually.
Oh, it is the whole thing? See, I didn't actually read it. Well, let's
Pretty
just
much.
listen to her talk. I thought it was going to be like a bit of it, but we've got 1:19. Let's listen to her talk for a sec. You guys can hear this?
I can no longer remain in today's Democratic Party that's under the complete control of an elitist cabal of warmongers who are driven by cowardly wokeness, who divide us by racializing every issue and stoking anti-white racism, who actively work to undermine our God-given freedoms that are enshrined in our Constitution, who are hostile to people of faith and spirituality, who demonize the police but protect criminals at the expense of law-abiding Americans, who believe in open borders, who weaponize the national security state to go after their political opponents, and above all, who are dragging us ever closer to nuclear war. Now, I believe in a government that's of the people, by the people, and for the people. Unfortunately, today's Democratic Party does not. Instead, it stands for a government that is of, by, and for the powerful elite. Now, I'm calling on my fellow common sense, independent-minded Democrats to join me in leaving the Democratic Party. If you can no longer stomach the direction that the so-called woke Democratic Party ideologues are taking our country, then I invite you to join me.
All right.
Mhm.
Well,
you know
yes,
what? Am I the only one who saw this coming, I don't know, years ago when Tulsi Gabbard was running for office?
and they like hated her.
Well, I mean, I heard her platform and I really liked what she was saying, but I'm like, how are you calling yourself a leftist and saying the things you're saying? I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. She sounded like she was already right-leaning, but still hadn't quite let go of the label.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that happening. Also, I like what's going on with her hair. Like, why does she just have this like
She always has had that.
right?
straight
Has she?
hair.
I never
Yeah.
noticed that before.
So
Okay.
attractive.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, I remember years ago, she'd released like a policy that she wanted people to vote on, and it was about no longer arming insurgents in the Middle East, and it failed, obviously. But like, I was like, see, that sounds like a good policy, but the problem is that there's no way in hell, and like anyone on the left is going to agree to that. They like the idea of insurgency too much. So it was like, there was so many things about her that were clearly not like mainstream Democrat, politician anymore, that I was like, she's not going to be able to last in this group for much longer. Like I honestly don't know how it took her this long.
I don't. Oh, go ahead, Julie. Look, you're gonna say something.
I'm just like, because she's like, okay, let's leave the Democrat Party, but like, and go where? Are they to become Republicans?
Well, so that's the thing. A lot of people said that in response to her. They're like, oh, what, they're like, oh, go over to Trump, go over to MAGA. And, and they keep saying that. And it's like, she didn't say that. She absolutely did not say that. So to me, it's sort of like she isn't necessarily saying that she wants to become a Republican.
Right.
So, like, she never once says it. So I'm sort of like, I don't know where you're getting that idea, because she could probably just be talking about going, libertarian or independent even. So it's like, it's the problem with the whole idea that if you're not with us, you're against us. So obviously you're on the opposite side now. That's essentially the idea. And it's like, I don't see that she's actually doing that.
I actually really like the idea of people just leaving parties generally, because then, and if we're gonna have people to vote for, then I'd rather just go by like the platform of what they care about. Like, here's what they're gonna do, and we're not trying to be on one side or the other. I'm like, I might like this person that's on another party.
But Beverly, I mean, come on. Our entire society is based on the idea that we have black and white thinking, that there's only two sides, this great false dichotomy that is holding up our entire societal structure.
You're so true. I'm sorry. What was I thinking?
Like, I am not of a party and haven't been for more than a decade. Because I don't want to fall into the tribalism of that black and white thinking, but it is absolutely human nature that happens. And I don't care. Like, to me, it's sort of like saying like, oh, we got rid of the state. It's like, well, the people are going to form a state in like one generation anyway, again. Like, to me, like, a lot of things are like inevitable. And one of those things is dichotomous, splits along political lines. It's going to happen again. Like, you can't I don't think human beings can function without those things, most of them.
But if we could make the split more about like just admit that it's more government or less government and do like the libertarian versus authoritarian rather than like drop the left and right, then at least it can handle that. Like I know what your intentions really are, rather than saying like, oh, because the liberals they want stuff that's big government. Like, but conservatives do in different ways too. Like it varies depending on the ones. But it's just like so I'd rather us just drop that act and like talk about like what government involvement do you want over us.
Oh my gosh. If you guys want to have a great envisioning of what a future could look like without the state, without government, I don't know if you guys have heard of Stefan Molyneux, but he just put out another book that he wrote called The Future. And he talks about a stateless society. It's like the way I described it after I finished listening to the audio version of it was that it's this century's book to burn, the next century's Atlas Shrugged, and it's the following century's quoted scripture. Like it's that good. Like there's such a great story, and he breaks down the arguments in narrative form, and it's fantastically well done.
Awesome.
Nice.
The
future. Yeah. You gotta go sign up to his what's it called? Locals community. It's like $5, but you can download the audio and dip out if you so choose. But I mean, it's worth every bit of $5, if not more.
Nice. Okay, I didn't know he had a new book. I know Carter has been a fan of him in the past, at least. I don't know where he stands on him now. Oh, Daniel, we got this super chat from Richard Petz. Thank you. He says, here's a shout out to Daniel's great hat. Cheers.
Cheerio. I love these hats. I've been looking for another one, but thanks.
Richard could probably hook you up. He probably has connections.
Yeah. I love Peaky Blinders, and I want one with the like blade in the hat, like they have. That is badass. I want to be able to like I'll never use it, but I would love to have the option. Just take my hat off and just I don't know. Beat down.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? A little self-defense mechanism.
Nice.
Of course, I'd have to take it off every time I try to walk through a metal detector.
How often do you do that, though?
No, the officer laughs at me. He's like, that's why you're wearing a hat. Okay. This Tim Pool wannabe SOB.
Yeah, you need like the beanie thing or whatever they call them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
he's got like a balding head or whatever because he's of that age, and people like try to make fun of him about it. He's like, oh well, I really don't give a crap either. But people make fun of the weirdest things, don't they? Like when they run out of arguments, they just start attacking you personally, and it's like, and then like if you're totally like comfortable with yourself, you're like, I don't care. My own father-in-law tried to like lash out at me because he's a drunk asshole, and I'm sorry, is cussing allowed on this? I've been
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Okay. He just messaged me out of nowhere and starts talking crap about me, and I'm so confident in myself. I'm like, okay, you're 62 years old and still living with your daughter, but whatever. You want to fight dirty? I could fight dirty, but damn, I mean, I don't know why people feel like that's the way to converse.
Yeah,
and I'm not trying to take over your show or nothing like that.
It's fine. Let's talk
direction, but
it's just like therapy for you. It's
stream of consciousness here. No. One of the biggest problems I've seen online, I don't know if anybody else, if you've noticed this at all, but one of the biggest things I've noticed is people just don't know how to communicate with each other. And I think a lot of these little online battles back and forth could be solved if you just insist that you are spoken to a certain way, right? Like as soon as somebody starts throwing insults, stop the entire conversation right there. Do not pass go. Don't move forward at all until they either apologize for insulting you out of turn or the conversation just ended. I mean, I'm not going to engage you anymore after you've insulted me because we're not going to have a conversation in good faith. It's not going to happen. So, I mean, I've noticed, man, my stress level's gone down so much. Like I don't get in big, stupid arguments with people throwing dumb, flame wars back and forth. It's just as soon as they start talking, disrespectfully, and this is assuming you've been talking respectfully the whole time too.
Right.
Again, I don't know if anybody else has tried that or noticed that, or like, I think a lot of problems can be solved just by insisting that we're talked to respectfully and in turn talk respectfully to the other person.
I've talked about this to Alex, I think on the other streams on Thursdays, but where when I have engaged, like I always try to just be like, and I don't mind like if sometimes if you're just going on there, like let me make snarky quips if I'm just like doing a comment under something stupid. But like if I'm having a conversation with someone, I always try to be like, I'll de-escalate stuff too. If they start going on with that, like I'll try and like, and a lot of times, or if I broaden the idea enough, I can get them to agree with me in the end. And so that always makes me really happy where I'm just like, haha, see, you know, like we're going from insult to like now you're apologizing and agreeing to me.
I once had someone like snarkily reply to me, and then I have a learning disability, so sometimes I see words wrong, like and they called me an insect, and then got mad at me for misreading them, which I and they because I misread them, they said this is why we can't have nice things, and I said we can't have nice things because you called me an insect. Like no. And that, to me, that was like it. I'm done at this point, because it's like, you know, I told you, and I did tell him like afterwards that, you know, I have a learning disability. That me misreading you was not like me being an asshole or anything. And they're like, well, you should try to read things better. And I'm like, you think I'm not actually already trying with my learning disability? Like, what kind of thought process is going on there? Yeah. And like, but that was it for me. Like once they were like, we can't have nice things, and I was like, you don't get to say that after you threw out an insult like insects. Like that's so rude.
Oh my God, yeah, just the idea that they're like that's why text is so terrible for trying to communicate. Like if I know that I'm about to get in some kind of contentious discussion with somebody, I'm like, hey, either, you know, let's come on my show and let's record it so I can make secondary use of this conversation for other people. And or just call me on the phone and let's just, so we can at least hear each other, our tones, our the way we address, you know, that you got to be able to hear that stuff, because there's so much missing from text. And I mean, I even have trouble texting with my own, you know, immediate nuclear family here. Sometimes they read my text and think I'm mad, you know, just because of the way they read it, and they know how I talk. So imagine trying to talk with somebody online who has no idea. They've never met you. They don't know you from Adam. They don't even know if you're not a bot, you know. Just have a little patience with people, and just take the idea that text is terrible for communication. It's terrible. It's a good jumping off point, but as far as long form, like heated discussions or like, you know, deep thoughts, it doesn't work. It just does not work.
I have the like stereotypical girl thing of where like I use a lot more exclamation marks and LOL because I fear that people will think that I'm angry with them, because like I mean I speak in deadpan a lot too, so then I've had people think that I'm like upset or something. Like, no, that's just my voice. I had to practice in college fluctuating my voice to seem like a person to like get some sound there. But yeah, so then whenever like in an email, I'm lucky if I get like one period in though, because everything else is just an exclamation mark.
I'm glad it's not just me. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, that's just excessive.
Yeah. So then I have to rephrase it. I'm like, this can be a period instead.
Right.
So if you use too many exclamation marks, what do you do when you're actually excited?
I like to think that I am excited about those things though, because I would be saying it like with that inflection, but you just might not always want to read it all.
Maybe that could be a whole show, you reading out loud your emails.
Yeah.
I used to teach English composition, so I have all this like really professional writing, like more like technical side writing, and like so often I've had friends tell me, you have to soften your tone. And I was like, well, how do I do that? Because and especially like in professional writing, and they're like, just throw some emojis in there. And I was like, that's so unprofessional. Like when I'm talking about professional emails, like, do it. Otherwise they're going to get mad at you. And I'm like, and it has improved things, but I still don't like using them. I still think they're stupid.
I don't use emojis. I use like the old school text emoticons or
like the colon and the D for.
I like to use equal sign and then a parentheses or a bracket. That's my go-to.
I did see something where someone said that like boomers do this thing where they put a lot of ellipses in instead of periods.
Yes, I've talked about that, and I don't understand it. I know so many people. Like, are you upset? Are you like trailing off because you're like, I'm sad now? I read it like emo every time.
Oh,
I read it ominous, like they're threatening me. I'm like, what is going on?
Here's a fun one. I was educated by my younger children that apparently using a period at the end of your sentence is aggressive.
I've heard that one.
I do.
I use proper punctuation. You're not going to change the way I text.
But
I text like I was taught to write.
But even when you say like, that's why I don't. I need to use punctuation, but I can say like if I read someone's text and it just says "okay," period, I think that they're mad at me.
Yeah,
or I'm like,
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
But if there's no punctuation, I'm like, okay, like I dislike not having it, but at least I think that like, oh, we're cool.
Well,
okay with an exclamation mark.
But okay is not a full sentence, so you can't use a period there. Putting a period there makes sense to be aggressive. What kind of crazy people are you talking to that thinks okay is a full sentence? It's time for you to change your friend group, young lady.
I don't like spelling okay with like the letters okay. I like to spell it out OKAY.
I do.
That's
I do.
Good. All right, we're all on the same page there. That's great.
I think we've had a couple of super chats.
Yeah, I see another one here. Your friend Paul, thank you, says shout out to Beverly's Arm Warmers. Thank you, Paul. It's October. It's spooky time, so I got him back out. Is there another one? Oh yeah, there's another from Richard Pets. Oh, okay. He says, "Oh, come on, Alex, don't be such a Mike Hunt."
He sent me a message saying that I'm going to change. I'm testing to see if you're a bot. I'm changing my name to Alex Mike Hunt, and I just burst out laughing because I had no idea what was going to come. And he's like, "You pass," and I'm like, "Okay."
Well, thank you for the super chats. All right. Well, I guess it's time. Should we? I think I have these up next. Yes, Biden's Bumbles, everyone.
Oh,
Yeah. These are gonna be fun.
I love it.
The fact that there's enough Bumbles for you to require an entire segment. That's hilarious.
Last week we had so many. I think we only have like I'm also including Biden administration, so we have some Kamala ones and Pelosi. But last week it was like all Biden, and it was like half of the tabs that I had up.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Spent so much time. What do we have here? We've got Biden says the key reason he ran for president was to tackle inflation. Okay.
Let me say a few words quickly about today's report on inflation. Americans are squeezed by the cost of living. It's been true for years, and folks don't need a report to tell them they're being squeezed. Fighting this battle every day is the key reason why I ran for president of the United States. The way I think about it is...
I imagine it's sunny there, but I was also distracted by his left eye being like closed. So I was having trouble listening.
Yeah, a lot of people made the joke, and I agree with this one. That so was his key to fight the fight on the side of inflation to make it higher?
Yeah,
successful if so.
Yeah. I can't think of. I love when the phrasing is that way, where it just makes. I can't think of the example that I want right now, but where it's just like, oh, when you say it that way, it sounds like you want more of this, though. When you're trying to, like, you're pro it. All right, what's this?
It's like getting in a battle with a bully, and you're just like keep giving him like switchblades and rifles.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm gonna whip your ass. Here, take this rolling pin, baseball bat, ninja stars. I have a nunchuck in my back pocket.
Please allow me.
Military tanks. I'm the president. You got it.
Oh wait, this one. Biden dropped his handlers as flashcards mid-interview. It all went downhill from there. Okay. Let's see what happens.
We passed so much legislation that significantly makes a point about, for example, the American Rescue Plan, the legislation to deal with inflation, the Inflation Act. We passed.
There's part of me that just like, I feel kind of bad for this old senile man. Like, they keep propping him up there.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. Both clips you've played, I completely tuned them out, and I don't mean
to. No, I agree.
I mean,
I get it.
I just feel like this must be what people were going through with Trump, where like they just tune him out. Yeah, they don't give a crap anything he says. And even if you send him a clip, like here, he actually said what you like. They're just like, I don't hear it. What do you? I really think that's the same thing going on, but the other way. I just don't care.
Like I said, like I get distracted by like, oh, what's going on with your eye? Like, oh, you're saying something though, but yeah, because I know that he's just going to be like fumbling through whatever. So I'm just like, well, you're saying nonsense anyway. I'm
just to the point I feel so bad for him, and it's like they're really that desperate. They keep putting this guy out front. Like you feel really like it's like elder abuse at this point. I'm just like, what is going on with this? These people, like they can't just admit that something's wrong. Well,
and they won't though.
I mean, I and a bunch of other people were calling it elder abuse when they were running him, because like watching some of the stuff during the campaign trail was like difficult. So it's like, it's to me, it's been elder abuse this whole freaking time. Like I've just felt like this has been, you know, it feels a lot like when they pretend that the stand-in, you know, the guy that in like dictatorships in South America who has a body double, like, oh, the real person died and the body double is just walking around pretending they're still them, so everyone keeps going. It's like that, and it's like, that's not a good way to run a country, by the way.
I don't think he's like in charge necessarily. I think he's just kind of there going along and doing what people tell him. But I haven't gotten to the point where I think he's a body double or anything.
I don't actually think that.
yeah. There was I didn't. I was sorry. I didn't mean to suggest that you were. But yeah, there's a clip that was going around a couple years ago, and somebody reposted it. It was where Biden's sitting in an interview, and he's got this line. You can see this.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah,
and it looks like he's wearing a mask. If you're already primed to think it's a mask,
right?
And people were going around thinking, oh well, you know, they told him in his off-camera ear over here that, you know, his mask was slipping, so he put his hands up like this, so that I'm like, you guys don't understand anything about lighting, first of all. And I found a clip where, you know, he's got his arm up, right? And you see the exact same line where the sleeve, one of the fill lights was way too close and positioned too low. So it gave it this ominous lighting effect. And his collar, it was just his collar. You could see the outline of his damn collar moving as he talked. And I'm like, these people have lost their, oh my God.
Hear me out. What if it was just his skin was falling off?
Not a mask.
Just not a mask at all.
Some sort of weird skin condition. Although now it's reminding me of Alex and I just watched the first Hellraiser the other night, and now I'm just thinking of like, oh, he puts on his brother's skin to kill him, and then puts the skin over himself now. Like,
you know, I might actually have a little more respect. If that was the case, I'd have more respect for him, honestly, because that's a badass. Go wear somebody else's skin and just be like, yeah, I'm wearing this confident and proud.
Yeah, like I don't know who was underneath that Biden skin, but sure, I'll let you run our country.
Yeah, that mask is on point. It looks so real. Can I touch it? Can I touch it?
That story about people like freaking out about the line reminds me, it was like a month or two ago, where like two different videos came out of Biden giving a speech at the same, like around the same time. And one of them, he didn't blink in it like at all.
Oh yeah.
That
and like and it looked like this whole area of his face was just frozen. And
I remember that
video. Yeah.
That is a strange video. Like, and I did watch the whole thing, and he does not blink the entire time. And it's like a minute. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, how can he, what's happening with his face? Like, that was but everyone's like, it was fake, it was AI.
Oh, I was just assuming he was hopped up on drugs. Like they drugged him up to be able to like do a presentation, like stand up long enough. So whatever's going on there, like that, like he's just frozen with this full of drugs.
You guys are overthinking it. They pull him off to the side before the actual show, and they're like, "Hey, listen, what we're gonna need you to do? We need you to troll the audience a little bit." I want you to try to go a full minute without blinking, okay?
This whole time he's just pretending to be like have dementia and be senile, though, like be like the most bumbling person ever, just to troll he's trying to one up Trump's trolling on like social media.
Have you heard Jimmy Dore's phone calls from the beginning of his show where he's talking to the voice actor is Joe Biden? And the whole skit is about Joe Biden pretending to have dementia, but only a certain level of dementia, so that It's
not.
freaking great. If you have a chance, he plays them at the beginning of every show. So if you have a chance to go back and listen to a couple of those, they're hilarious. It's some of my favorite parts of the show.
Awesome.
Yes, I
Okay.
listen to Jimmy Dore. Don't judge me.
I don't. I watch a lot of terrible things too.
Oh, terrible.
No, I actually don't have any.
That guy gives the left more crap than anybody on the right.
I've heard that he does like a good job of
Oh yeah, I mean, if I'm going to trust somebody who's telling me something, who's a commentator, I'm going to trust more the guy that's talking crap about his own party than a guy who's talking crap about the other team, right?
Other one, I agree. Yeah.
And it's nice to hear the differing views from both sides, and where their views line up is probably where the truth is, somewhere in there.
Oh, DSM-6 says it's snowing.
I want it to snow.
What?
I do not want it to snow. It would be something really strange and
weird in Arizona. Yeah,
snowing.
Terrible. All right. Oh, that's a great still shot here. Okay.
Yeah.
And
It reminds me of her former days.
She just needs to be on her knees. And
yeah, I saw that
perfect.
shot back in like '84 or something.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. She says nobody should have to go to jail for smoking weed. This is Kamala, for those of you just listening.
And speaking of the system of justice, we are also changing, y'all might have heard that this week, the federal government's approach to marijuana. Because the bottom line there is nobody should have to go to jail for smoking weed.
Yeah.
Really?
They shouldn't have to, but once they're there, then you get to stay forever and work it out. But that's what
doesn't she sound a little bit like that creepy old guy that's like, "Hey, Sonny, if you want some candy in my, you're gonna have to reach in my pocket. Hey, there's some candy. It's right here in my pocket, but you gotta get it, okay?"
Just handcuffs and she arrests you.
Like this fake excitement, like she's trying to feign.
She's got that fake smile all the time.
It doesn't feel genuine. She feels like she's like trying to deliver good news that she mentally knows is good news, but she doesn't actually think it's good news.
Right.
Yeah. I also noticed that she didn't really move her head. She moved her whole body and it was so stiff too. It's like what's jammed up back there because she's so stiff. I guess it's the fact that she's betraying all of her convictions by saying this. Maybe
I don't know.
Yeah, I hate your state in chat says sounded like half the audience is waiting for a punchline. They're like, yeah, you're like, oh, do we cheer now? Like, that's what you were saying.
No, but honestly, I think that's the one positive thing I've heard Joe Biden actually do, if that counts, is like try this attempt to start, decriminalizing or legalizing marijuana. Like any move in that direction, I'm okay with. Like, bring it on. If that's the one thing he can say he did good for this, I mean, because let's think about it. If we could all just have a little bit more marijuana, I think the world would be a better place in general.
Well, that's what we talked about this last week too, and it was that despite the reasons being most likely something about like the election's coming up, so you're just trying to do it for whatever votes things. Like I do agree with it. Like I'm glad that you are doing this, but so like even though I hate everything else that you're doing, at least like you've got one good thing here going.
Yeah. Even a broke clock's right twice a day, right? I mean, for those old folks that know what analog clocks are.
I don't. All right. We got more Kamala.
I can't tell if you're serious.
No, my friend growing up.
that deadpan voice of yours, I legit can't read it.
No, that's why I had to practice fluctuating my voice in college. So people, I had an improv
intonation.
Improv and I did it in Chicago, and there was one class where I kept just trying to tell a girl, like we were doing a scene, and I'm like, oh, I love flowers, and the teacher kept stopping me because I kept sounding sarcastic. And I kept saying like, I love flowers, and I did it like 5 times, and I couldn't say it sincerely, and he just was like, what happened to you in your childhood? What made you this way?
Did flowers murder your parents?
My voice is just always sarcastic.
It's exactly the kind of girl I would have gone for back in high school. The girl that I couldn't tell if she was serious or not, but she seems slightly verbally abusive. But I'd have to tell my friends, once you get to know her, she's not so bad.
I'd had people, because then I had like resting bitch face and stuff too, though, and then but people would ask like, "What's wrong?" Like, nothing. This is just my face. Now I'm upset.
Right?
You commented on my face.
I don't know. This video looks poor quality. Okay.
Affected by it, but it's such a big step in the right direction. What happens next, other than just pressuring governors to do the same on the state level? Do you see legislation in the future?
Well, we've tried over the years, but let me just start with saying this. I strongly believe and the majority of Americans agree. Nobody should have to go to jail for smoking weed, right?
Yeah.
So she just keeps saying it now too. Like that is her thing. Is nobody should have to go to jail for weed, and she just tours now.
I wonder how many people she put in jail.
I know.
For smoking weed.
Yeah.
That must have been the line that they all worked on back behind the scenes, market tested.
I'm just surprised she's like saying full sentences and not repeating the same word 20 times in that one sentence. And I'm impressed by her, honestly.
Because she has it, yeah. Well, she does sound like she's broken most of the time, so this is actually an improvement.
Yeah, right. Oh, broken clock thing. Forgot to say too. My friend growing up, she really did struggle with analog clock reading. She also had to do like left, right. She's really smart, but there were just a couple of things that like she really struggled with was reading analog clocks and then like doubting herself when it was like left and right. So for a long, and I think still probably now continues to do that.
Wow.
I sucked with left and right. Just get killed in video games all the time.
Yes. I tell people all the time, listen, if I'm giving you directions, follow my finger, not my word. I'm like, go left and I'll point right. And I mean, go right. My word is always backwards though.
I don't think I ever had that problem. Maybe piano helps too. Like you always know which side. And you have to read like two different things, like the two stabs are having different things at the same time. So you have to like already understand like two different languages. Almost.
That is an underrated skill.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you. I feel better.
Same thing with guitar, having to work two hands doing two different things. But even guitar is not, it's two hands doing two very different things, as opposed to piano doing two hands doing the same thing, basically, but just on different octaves.
Piano, I don't know. Like, I think sometimes I'm pretentious with piano just because I'm like, I get to play it like up to at least 10 keys at a time, though, if your fingers are all like hitting something, though. Whereas it's just like, other instruments, you're like a flute, you're just doing one note. Maybe you're pushing a bunch of buttons down like with all those fingers, but just one note. Guitar, 6. Piano, I can also just like smash the whole thing and play a bunch.
Put an elbow on there.
Yeah.
Have your cat run across it.
Oh my gosh, not again.
And I'm a dude, so.
Oh god. Just walked away.
Mic drop.
I am not dropping this mic. It's cost too much.
Yeah, mine too. And mine's already phallic shaped too. So
what's that mean?
What, phallic?
Yeah, can you explain that?
Well, you're a man already, so phallic,
I'm not
penis like the Washington Monument.
Yeah.
First thing that came to mind for some reason. I don't know.
Thanks for humoring me on that.
Yeah. We need to get more into anatomy. I
have a dictionary in my back pocket that tells all the different words for penis, so I already knew.
We're probably going to get some
found
sort of
one of those in a Spencer's Gifts in high school and was there with a friend and she was a girl and I go right to the penis section and I start reading them out loud to her and she started running away. And I was like, come back, I'm not done. There's at least 50 more.
I'm not done. She's never done.
JB in chat says, I've seen a dude play guitar with his penis. Turns out it's a bad idea. I can't imagine. I don't even know, like fat fingers. I struggle too.
No, tell him you got to use it more like a slide guitar.
Oh God, that sounds painful.
He'll understand.
All right, what do we have here? We've got Clown World. What's her name? I forget her name.
Jean-Pierre.
Jean. Okay, that's right. I like that. Anytime I ask anyone, they're always doubtful too. Like,
no one knows
ever
how to
remembers.
pronounce her
Like
name.
new Jen Psaki is kind of how I think of her.
New,
but worse
Yeah.
or worse Jen Psaki.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. All right.
Where we are economically, and we are in a strong, we are stronger economically than we have been in history. And when we look at where we are economically,
I just I love the clown makeup so much too.
That's a bold choice, you know. I mean, if you're gonna do your makeup and you're gonna play that part, you might as well put on clown makeup. I gotta give her props for that. That takes balls.
yeah. Totally.
Well, she does already have pretty big brass ones to come out there and just lie all the time. I've already answered that. It's one of her favorites.
I miss Saki. I really do. Like, at least she was
circle
good
back.
Yeah, at least she was good at lying and weaseling her way out of different answers. But it's bad.
I love her because she says, "I'm not going to comment on that," and then she goes on
to comment about it. I'm going to get banned for being racist, but I'm going to read that Mutter Fetcher in chat's calling her Jen Blackie. I'm allowed to read it though because I'm ethnically ambiguous, so it's fine. And then I think this last one.
Wider than a bowl of rice. What are you talking about?
What kind of rice are you eating? I'm worried about that.
Long grain brown rice.
Yeah. Oh, no wonder. Yeah, I'm not dark. I'm half and half.
Half
So
and half is white. What do you mean? Half and half is white.
I'm half minority and half white. Jeez Louise. All right, we've got Pelosi here. I didn't actually watch this video. I didn't watch most of these videos. Hang on. How do I full screen? It won't let me. All right.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. There's a comment here. Isn't calling it brown rice racist.
Yeah.
I would like people to encourage people to look up phobismist. It's a word I made up. It's made up of phobe.
I remember you talking about this before.
Phobism and ist. We've done whole sections of the show where we take a topic and we just pretend like we're offended by it. It's our job as professional phobismists to explain why people should be offended. And that's a really good one. I'm gonna have to do brown rice at some point. My favorite was Humpty Dumpty because there was so many reasons, but my favorite reason was that all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again, and I'm really upset because they never gave all the king's women an opportunity to try. Otherwise, Humpty would probably be okay.
Do you talk about how they never mentioned that he's an egg?
Yeah. Well, there's no mention of sex at all. There's no,
Yeah.
Humpty Dumpty's sexually ambiguous. We don't know.
True. Okay.
They assumed his gender.
They should have him have it
gender.
Play the piano with his genitalia, and then we'll find out.
Wait, is that what you thought I meant earlier? Oh, that's great. Now that's funny.
Well,
that's funny.
Said that in chat too.
Well, I immediately was when you made that joke, Daniel. I immediately thought of the Ridiculous Six. I can play my piano with my dick.
Yeah.
That's what I like. Maybe that's what she.
That was the joke. Yes, that was the joke.
Yeah. BIPOC. What is that? It's BIPOC. What's this with an R? Winky.
So rice.
Rice. Okay, rice. Indigenous people of color. Yeah, I remember. What was it? At one of the comedy theaters in Chicago was IO, and I got like whatever generic email that was sent out to everyone, and that was like the first time a couple of years ago that I saw the term BIPOC, and I had no idea what they were talking about too, and then it just started like spreading. Like, it was so woke and everyone there was, but I was just like, I haven't, and I hate it. I really hate that term. Like, because it also makes it seem like, oh, Black and Indigenous are more important than every other POC that's just lumped in the end there. Like, cool. All right, what's Pelosi got to say?
Secret Service said they have dissuaded him from coming to Capitol Hill. They told him they don't have the resources to protect him here. So at the moment he is not coming, but that could change.
Oh, he comes, I'm gonna punch him out. This is my
wow,
moment.
I would pay to see
I've
that.
been waiting for this, for trespassing on the Capitol grounds. I'm gonna punch him out, I'm gonna go to jail, and I'm gonna be happy.
Honestly,
if she punched someone, she would be in the hospital. She'd
yeah,
break every
I would
bone in her
love
arm.
to see this. Yeah.
She's literally saying she wants to punch Trump. Like,
It's the
what?
most brittle boned tiny lady ever, though. Like the whole arm would just be shattered. That's
It's like, oh my gosh, alcoholics, man.
they're a hoot.
They say the funniest things.
I think that was it for Biden's Bumbles. We've got a lot of Twitter things, but any other big news topics that Juliet, you talked about the Nord Stream thing. You posted a link about an update on it, but when I opened the link, it was all in German or something, so couldn't actually read it. And it also made you like sign up for the email list. I'm like, I'm not going to do that, and I can't speak whatever this is, Dutch.
I think it was in Swedish. I don't
Swedish,
know.
sure, I don't know. It just says Nachrichten für Deutschland is what the
Deutschland.
So if you just have like a summary to like explain,
I do. Hold on.
We can chit chat about that.
Okay, I'll read it.
AOC stuff too. Okay.
Okay, so it's an article that about the Nord Stream sabotage. It says, contrary to plans, Sweden, Denmark, and Germany will not investigate the leaks in the Nord Stream pipeline in a joint investigation. At the beginning of October, Interior Minister Nancy Faeser, that's funny, said, we now want to form a joint investigation team, a joint team under EU law, blah, 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 blah. Sweden has refused to form an international team. They said they have justified this decision by the fact that their security classifications of the investigation are too high to share with other states. So Sweden won't tell anybody what they found when they investigated the pipeline because it's too highly classified. What? Like I don't even know what I'm trying to like work at. Like, so did they do it? Like, yeah, we investigated it and can't tell you what we found because it was us. Or
I like to think of it as like really on the like the most fantastical idea that they like came across like the lizard people or something. They're now like, you have to keep this a secret. If you tell any or like aliens, like if you say anything, we will destroy your entire country or
it was
the world.
Mermaid Atlantis,
Yeah.
That's what it was.
But okay, so that's good. So the update is still no full information admitting anything at all.
Nope, they're not going to tell anybody what happened, but we all know what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any information. We don't know what happened, but even if we told you, people would think it was just deep fake videos and nobody would believe it. Depending on what side of the aisle you're on, you're going to have your narrative around it. So, really it doesn't do us any good to be up here except for political posturing,
Yeah. It matters.
I don't seem a little bit jaded by this whole thing.
I didn't notice. I couldn't tell. Your glasses are too fun to seem jaded.
What race were the mermaids? Obviously, the mermaids were South American.
The Swedish mermaids are South American.
I don't know what they were doing.
Nobody gives a crap.
Europe, but...
Every single person that was mad about the mermaid being black wasn't going to watch it anyway, even if the mermaid was white. So shut the hell up.
It's not black. They're not black. They're South American. The thing that was actually kind of like stupid is that he said that you could take from a real culture or you could take from a fake culture. Talking about the mythos of Atlantis. That was the dumb thing that was said. Yeah. Honestly, that was idiotic.
Real culture. So Daniel has this tweet here. Would you like to read it?
So yeah, I just want to encourage people to sign my petition to add D to the LGBT plus lineup. D is to represent disabled, not the condition, but rather the sexual preference. Just public service announcement for you guys. And if you do follow me on Twitter, those are the kind of things you can expect.
At Unframe of Mind.
I have so much fun. I have so much
Gems
fun.
like these.
I'll just be working during the day and just come up with these random, like, I don't know where they come from, but I'm just like, that's hilarious. One of the Phobismus segments we did was about LGBTQIA plus is offensive because they are completely forgetting about the or minus people. So that I suggested we should probably call it LGBTQIA plus or minus so that we can
give or take
everybody. Yeah, it's just so much fun.
Oh, we'll get banned on YouTube, but let's do it anyway. Talk about some Pfizer stuff.
Oh yeah.
I've got these links here. What was that, Alex?
Yeah, just the one I sent you. I had to send you a second link to.
Oh,
the Mario one. There's other ones too. Let's do the Mario one. That's gonna get us banned. Oh, wait, where is it? Oh, no, it's on Twitter. Sorry, I've got a gajillion tabs up. Alex and Juliet were busy this week finding stuff.
We just shotgun blasted her all week with content from the internet.
Okay, what is the name of this? Searching. I lost it again. Too many tabs. Filling in time here. You guys can talk.
Oh, you guys are doing great. This is like top-notch production level
there
stuff.
It is.
I'm telling you. I'm actually going to take notes later on. And
so good.
Greatly appreciated. I mean, I could just kind of bloviate for a little while if you'd like. I mean,
no, I got it. It's here now. Mario's here.
Oh, at some point I need to shut up. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yes.
No need to vamp. All right. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Yeah.
Now, if I understand the preview I saw for this, isn't that where he actually enters that world for the first time and he's looking around confused? And
like the part where he falls is before the part where he's up and like moving his arm around. They switch the edit so that it looked like he fell after having been stood up for a while. And yeah.
I think that's how most movies actually go is like we see the movie where we're like, oh, we already know the guy's going to make it out of it. He'll be fine. We just want to see how. But, I think most actual, real life events happen where you just enter the world and you die instantly because you just don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's how my life goes. I mean,
that's what happens when you go to the inner city, from the suburbs.
It's a new world for you.
Yeah. I wake up in the inner city, confused. Where am I?
Getting mugged already.
The movie's only like 3 minutes long. The preview ended up longer than the video.
Really long trailer. So along with the Pfizer line of things, these are longer videos, so we don't need to watch them, but it just says, this tweet says, watches Pfizer executive Janine Small admits to EU Parliament that Pfizer did not test the vaccine for preventing transmission of COVID prior to it being made available to the public. Small says, we had to really move at the speed of science. We had to do everything at risk. The speed of science.
What is the speed of science?
I don't.
Science is slow. It takes like multiple trials for anything.
Years. It's meant to be 15 years at least.
It's very slow. It's very expensive. It's very contentious.
I expect there to be arguments all the time, and if oh god, I can't believe this.
Sorry, guys. We had to move at the speed of these glaciers here.
Yeah.
Like, what could we do?
Well, that's what the whole thing too with whether or not it's tested for long-term side effects, and everyone would really argue with me on that too. And I'm like, I just don't understand how you think time works, because it's just like you need the length of time to see how long time effects would be time, says Kamala.
Well, maybe they had that island from that M. Night Shyamalan movie, Old. That's where they tested it out, and they got their 15-year results in one day.
Yeah, they went to outer space where like different planets, but then time, like a year passes differently than Earth, and go on the moon or whatever. So yeah, I can see that happen. Like I'm sure they did that, except for this one here where it says, for this part at least, in COVID hearing, Pfizer director admits the vaccine was never tested on preventing transmission. Get vaccinated for others was always a lie. The only purpose of the COVID passport, forcing people to get vaccinated. The world needs to know this video. So there's a whole video on here. That's 2 minutes long, so we won't watch that. But apparently he admitted this. So, but whatever. Didn't Moderna, I forget, Moderna admitted something else too recently, but it was just like, oh, all the things that people were thinking or like that were saying beforehand that got you banned are now coming out as true. And yet YouTube is still banning us for things from last year that are likely true now too, because we just got that strike recently.
Do any of you know a single person in your life that heard this news and said, oh, wow, that's crazy, I should change my mind now?
Okay, I actually sent a tweet by someone who I follow, a physical therapist. His name's James. He's the
James Smith one?
Yeah, the James Smith one. So he's kind of famous to some regard for being a little bit against the fat studies and the gender ideology stuff, but he bought the vaccine stuff hook, line, and sinker. Yeah. But he said this recently, and it really pleased me because I was like, come on, man, you have the kernel of being able to stand against this bullshit, but he hadn't yet. So at first he said, so it turns out get vaccinated to save other people was a farce. I think I owe a lot of people an apology. I genuinely thought I could trust the experts. I'm very disappointed to have been hoodwinked by the propaganda of 2020. And then he retweeted himself with the statement, if the government will blatantly lie for us to conform to their demands, where does it stop? What are they currently lying to us about? And it's like, well, damn, this woke him up.
Yeah. While I agree with what he's saying, we do need to have a little conversation about these punctuation errors.
That's what I was going to ask you about that, Daniel. I was going to say, like, are you bothered?
My inner Nazi has been triggered this day.
Both grammar and the OG German kind.
And I don't know about you, but I got like a touch of ADHD that like when I start seeing those, I like completely like lose focus on what it was actually being said.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Well, I mean, he's also British, so his punctuation is going to be slightly different than what we expect from America.
In what way? In what way? I will hear that. I will hear that.
Okay,
and I'll
periods
they do
go on the outside
differently.
Do they?
Yeah, quotation marks go on the inside and then punctuation goes on the outside.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's stupid.
Everybody knows the punctuation goes on the inside of the quotation mark at the end of a sentence. Everybody knows.
Seriously, I also got an English degree, and it was the opposite for us as well. We still use double quotes instead of single quotes, but we had to put the punctuation. If the punctuation was not part of the quote, we had to put it outside the quote. We did for
interesting
to meet MLA. So
as commas and periods go inside the quote, question marks and exclamations go outside.
Let's not even get started on the Oxford comma.
I mean, if you're against Oxford comma, then I think we need to get off this street.
We're about to fight.
Yeah, Oxford comma.
I need to make a T-shirt that I'm team Oxford comma.
Okay, good. Then you're fine. Then we're all on the same page here. Serial comma, Oxford comma, very necessary.
I can't.
Oh, great! Another echo chamber. They all agree on the Oxford comma.
I don't even know how is it debatable? Like if you read punctuation appropriately and there's no comma there, then it becomes like those two things are together.
Yeah.
Well, they're together, or they're in a positive to the first one, which doesn't make any sense. It's the whole thing. What is it? The strippers, Tolstoy and Stalin. And it's like, if you don't have the Oxford comma, it sounds like you're saying Tolstoy and Stalin are strippers.
Yes.
Wait, they weren't?
I've been misled this whole time.
I can't get past. I mean, like, I'm really happy. Like, this guy's brave for saying that out loud, I guess, and admitting he's wrong. But like, what is going on with the first sentence? That's not a sentence.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think if you put a colon, I would accept that.
Yeah, it would have been an acceptable place to use an ellipses. If
ellipses would be fine too. Apiciopizis is like one of my favorite words.
Honestly,
Okay.
I'm really glad that we're pulling the important parts out of this. You know, I feel like we've really given it some careful consideration.
Well, we were all thinking, because he did go, I didn't really like, he goes from double quotations to single quotes down, like within that previous tweet.
Well, one is so
That
is
that is a
yeah.
classic question. Like what he I just want to bring it back to the tweet. What he says, but where does it stop? You know, if they're lying,
Yeah.
you know, like they even admitted to lying to us to try to save us. But it's like I can't, like in any relationship I have, including the government, if you're going to lie to me and I catch you in a lie and you admit to lying and don't make amends or try to, you know, make it, you know, fix the course. I don't know. At some point, I'm like thinking you're always lying. I'm like I can't tell when you're lying to me, and it's like what's the word here? Breaker. Deal breaker. It's a deal breaker when somebody starts lying about anything. And it's like I feel like trust is a number one cornerstone for any relationship, and that goes with your friends, your wife, your children, your governments even. And it's like, if you're going to lie to me, I don't know where it stops. I don't know where you've been lying to me before. I don't know when you're telling me the truth.
You question everything. Like I'd say the one time it happens, like, well, now I'm questioning everything. And that's how, you know, we've talked about with the wrongful conviction stuff too, like with the justice system. Like I really think it's so flawed. But like if it can happen, you know, it's happened multiple different times, and if it happens that often, it's maybe there's more. So people who really doubt that wrongful convictions happening,
it's
even one time shows that it's flawed.
It's the one thing that gives conspiracy theorists a leg to stand on. It's like, well, they actually have been caught in and admitted to conspiracies. So I mean, automatically, that's kind of a point in their direction. Like anything could be true, and it really makes it hard to differentiate between reality. You know, there's no way to figure it out, especially with new technology coming out nowadays. You know, when you got deep fakes starting to enter the scene, it's like, what does 20 years from now look like? Like we already cannot determine or decide on or agree on truth. So what does 20 years from now look like with new technology?
I assume everyone's always lying to me, so I don't even think that you guys are real.
Well, one of my problems though isn't so much the lying, because like I mean, it's been going on for a very, very long time, but the people who are willing to lie to themselves and delude themselves when they have been shown that someone is lying, that's the part that really bothers me, because like for years before 2020 there was discussion about how big pharma was messed up and how they were screwing up all the time. There was the oxytocin thing, that cotton thing, I'm sorry, and then there were lots of medications where they just slightly changed them and said it was way more effective, and all they did really was change like an active ingredient essentially. And like people were talking about this, and then in 2020 everyone's all like, oh, let me get down on my knees and suck the cock of big pharma, and I'm like, what happened to you? Like you, like I don't understand what changed for you, because it's like, oh, I was already anti big pharma before 2020, so I'm like, and there were people on my side and we were having conversations and they all just about faced suddenly. And really, that was the part that really drove me crazy, is that was that cultish move that so many people made. And I was like, that's terrifying. That's the part that scares me.
Yeah.
It's kind of reminds me, what's his name? Tariq Nasheed.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I listened to his podcast for long enough to know that all of them are the same thing. Every single issue that comes up leads back to white supremacy. Everything. It does not matter what it is. He's a one-trick pony. And it didn't bother me that he was saying this crazy stuff. It's whatever. It's a crazy dude. He's saying crazy stuff. It was the 100,000 Twitter followers at the time that were eating it up. It's like, that's what's dangerous. It's all those people that are hearing this going, yeah,
that's how I feel. Yeah, with like, Vosh is an example that I remember hearing a couple of years. I'm like, how does he have like 200,000 followers and he's just saying like stupid socialist stuff and doesn't really know anything?
I actually got into it with Tariq sometime last year on Twitter, and he went through my old tweets. Like he went back months and screenshot a bunch of them and shared them to his followers to try to get them to come after me and stuff. And the thing that was so crazy about it is that it's like he was picking up things like the fact that I admitted that when I was a little girl, a bunch of Black girls bullied me and physically assaulted me as evidence of me being racist. And I was like, I mean, it's true that fucking happened. And I'm like, and then like another one was that like, oh, I felt bad for the people, the Black business owners who had their businesses burned down during the riots or something like that. And he was like, see, she's racist. And I was like, okay, you know, I said those things like months ago and I still believe them. I haven't like changed my mind or anything. And it was really weird. And he kept coming, like I had to block a bunch of his followers. They kept coming after me, but luckily, like it died out after like 2 days because I was like, he is very big. Like if it could,
Right.
I was like, this one's a little scary.
Yeah, congratulations. DSM on the comments said that they get to 100K through confirmation bias and pump priming. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, that's probably why I don't have a lot of followers, is because I tend to have some right-leaning views, and then I start talking about those right-leaning views. So I get a few right-leaning followers, and then suddenly I'm like, hey, your religion is totally whack, and here's why. And then now I've got left-wing followers starting to join me. And right-wing people are like, okay, I'm out of here. And it's like, well, I don't know. I don't fit in a box, so it makes it really hard to.
Right.
You know, I can't just do the thing where I'm like, yeah, that checkbox, I agree with that one too. Yeah, dude, that one too. I don't know why I suddenly became surfer dude when I'm like I don't know. As you were.
I look forward to potentially Elon deleting all the bots. And then I can't wait to see some people, like specifically Tariq. Like I can't wait to look at his real follower count. Like half of these people, like I don't believe that they really have that many followers, and half of them are probably like journalists and people like us that follow them to see what they're saying, not because they like them, you know. But
I definitely think that there is a bot problem, and I didn't really think it that much until this week when I mentioned shrooms. I was making fun of someone for their bad take about racism, and I said, man, that must be some crazy shrooms you're on. And then out of the word work, Carl, like 40 fucking bots all trying to sell me shrooms. And I was like, what?
That's awesome.
And then they followed me over to my actual profile and started tweeting at me there. And I'm like, mute the word shrooms for the first time ever. I'm muting a word.
Wow, I didn't know you could do that. I like on TMR on Thursday streams with Alex and me, like we always get sex bots in chat, like every single time. I'm not sure. We talk about a lot of different things that related to it, I guess, but it always happens.
I got one last night during Resident Evil. So they come on my streams too. So maybe they're just following me.
You? Yeah. The sex goddess over here.
Tell me more about how to get sex bots to follow you.
What did you say last night that brought it up?
My numbers need a little pumping up, pun intended.
I don't know. Well, I remember once there was the vaginor thing.
We had vaginor. Yeah, we said talking about vaginas and penis. I would just, I don't know, throw out different words. I forget what happened last night. We'll see if it happens now.
Yeah, we were talking about. I don't know. We made some penis and blowjob jokes quite a bit so far.
Oh, it was hand job because Carlos from AT&T, who lives in Giza, Egypt, told me that he doesn't like computers and he used to be an engineer and that he really likes working with his hands, and by that I mean, and then he explained that he liked farm work and stuff. So.
Yeah, but he had said he likes
hand jobs. Sorry, yeah. he likes hand jobs. That was
good man right there.
I just liked him a lot. And then he taught me Arabic, so that was a good call with AT&T.
Thanks for the compliment, DSM6. He says, pump it past 4 inches and you're in trouble. Man, I appreciate that. Is so sweet. It's so kind of you.
There's a super chat too. Let me see. Richard Petts, thank you for the super chat. This is when we were talking about punctuation. British punctuation. I'm triggered. People
forgets the period.
We did it intentionally to get us upset, so
that's
that might
right.
Probably
like hand jobs. Oh, Carlos. Is there an anti-hand job?
Oh, the comments are on fire today. Oh my god, they're
Yes.
so distracting. I need to shut them off.
You turn on you mention sex at all, and this chat always goes off.
We'll do everything, yeah. Especially with Winky Wanky Woo there. Okay, what was the next thing I had? We got AOC stuff. Do
She's
we want to
always
watch?
fun.
Yeah, I guess that she's part of the administration. Anyway, let's do AOC humiliated at town hall. Did you guys see this?
I did.
Yeah. I'll watch it again.
Establishment, and you are the reason why everybody will end up in a nuclear war unless you choose to stand up right now and denounce the Democratic Party.
You're starting to see that the tide is turning. People are
I don't know who that is. Would
These
you cut that off?
These bought and paid for
Yeah, that wasn't the clip.
politicians who are backed by
Right.
establishment, who are
Did
trying
you
to
go
control
back?
all of us. So you can see
I
that the
said
tide
you
is turning.
would,
It is time for we the people to take back our country. The rest is upon us. Did you
Well
vote?
played, dude.
None of this
There you
matters
go.
unless there's
I don't know which one. This is the one that was in the Discord.
a nuclear
Yeah.
war, which you voted to send arms and weapons to Ukraine. Tulsi Gabbard, she's left the Democratic Party because they're voting for us. Okay? You originally voted, you ran as an outsider. Yet you've been voting to start this war in Ukraine. You're voting to start a thermonuclear war with Russia and China. Why are you playing with the lives of American citizens? You're playing with our lives. There will be no neighbors if there's a nuclear bomb. You voted to mobilize and send money to Ukrainian Nazis. You're a coward. You're a progressive socialist. Where are you against the war mobilization? He's telling the right truth. You have done nothing. Tulsi Gabbard has shown guts where you've shown cowardice. I believed in you, and you became the very thing you sought to fight
I like that he
against.
was pro
That's what
her.
you've become. You are the establishment, and you are the reason why everybody will end up in a nuclear war unless you choose to stand up right now and denounce the Democratic Party. Will you do that? Yes or
Man,
no?
I feel bad for this guy.
Yeah.
I feel really bad for him. Not because he got
Are you
duped, but
going
because he's
to
just now
stop?
seeming very
he-
surprised
Mhm,
that somebody
yeah.
joined politics and became the establishment.
And
Like,
at least
what?
he's waking
You're
up.
kidding.
Yeah, I know how. Like, oh, and hopefully he realizes that for everything else too. Like every other one that you think that, like, just don't trust any politicians.
Nuclear war, yes or no? There is no line because this is bullshit. None of this matters if we're all dead. None of it. You know that. Then
I also
let's take it up
appreciate-
right now, 'cause this is the only thing that
Pause it for a
matters.
second. I appreciate that he's so far back in the bleachers, as if she's gonna like knuckle up and punch him for saying what he has to say.
Well, she looked like she was gonna like lunge at Alex Stein when he was bothering her on the
Yeah.
steps. So
Oh, really?
I don't blame him. I'd stay away from her too.
Yeah,
let
she's
her
got
let
those
her
bug
lunge.
eyes.
What is all 90 pounds of her gonna do? I mean, let her lunge. Let her lunge. Excuse
Yeah,
just
like
he's got a big
Pelosi
stick
punching
figure
her.
jacket on. He'll be fine. No, I mean, it's nice to see a couple people kind of standing up, waking up, kind of like realizing, oh, I got freaking duped. My guy
Yeah.
or girl that I voted for, that I really supported, that I thought was going to go in there and make changes, turns out they're not making changes. And now maybe he'll start to see a pattern where nobody goes in there and make changes. They just become part of the establishment. And the one guy
Yeah.
that they couldn't get to, change his mind or become part of the establishment, they fought tooth and nail to get rid of him.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Well, that was the thing too. I think 2008 was the first election I ever voted in, and I voted for President Obama, and I believed in him. And then I was like, okay, I have learned my lesson. Don't believe any politician when they talk, no matter how pretty it is. It's probably a fucking lie. Like, I learned
100%.
real fast, and
100%.
I know not everyone is willing to accept the fact that they fucked up like that. That with their vote, that they believe someone wrongly. And it's like, I mean, to be fair, I was pretty young, but it was eye-opening, and I'm glad it happened to me, that I realized it, because I know not everyone realizes it.
Yeah, my friend in college, he wanted to vote for Obama I mean, I don't think we were old enough to do it the first time, but then he was just like, no, let's give him a second chance. And I'm like, second chances are for people who believe they were wrong the first time and are trying to like make change. Like he was going to just continue the thing that he's doing though. Like, what are you talking about? That like, so it just, yeah, I mean, yeah, Romney was not
I think
good
it was
either, but
Yeah, fool me once, shame on me, right? Fool me twice.
Yeah, I think it was like it was only like 183 days into Obama's first presidency where I was arguing with people about his performance. Is that someone said Rome wasn't built in a day, and I was like, "How about 183 days? Was it built in 183 days? I was in 183 days." It was such bullshit. I'm gonna keep giving him a chance. I'm not. I'm done.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I appreciate the people that still vote and believe that things are going to change with their vote. It's adorable. It really is. I'm not mad at you. I mean, I get it. I was there. I mean, I voted a couple times, but it's like I don't know. I've heard too many stories. I've seen too many things play out, and just the basic fact that that the good people that you would prefer to be in office are smart enough to never to go anywhere near a position like that. They're just not going to do it. And it's like, well, at what point do we, I mean, you can't keep voting for this crap and expecting things to get better when you're only going to get a bunch of shysters and,
What do you think about local elections for things, Daniel? Like, are you more accepting of like local government types? I mean, I know you're volunteers, but like, I mean, like, yeah, like, but I just mean, like, do you care? I mean, is it any better to you when it's?
I'd say local leadership has more power in your local community, yes, and it's probably more useful for you to vote in those segments because that's going to actually have an effect on your life. I mean, if you're going to vote. I've heard the argument for people voting out of self-defense. We just want it to not be as bad, which is a strong. I mean, honestly, it's a strong argument. I tend to go with the moral argument is that if taxation is theft and government only exists through theft, then to vote for that government is to be complicit in that crime. I was like, I'm not going to be complicit in a crime. I don't believe in stealing. So, but beyond that, I mean, if you're going to vote and you're going to vote with the self-defense argument, you might as well vote in your local elections more so than you need to worry about what's going on outside your locality. Anthony and I have on our show, we've been talking a lot about focusing on, your family, the whole Jordan Peterson thing, make your bed first and then focus on the rest. Like I wonder how many people are on Twitter, proposing all these solutions and all pissed off at the world and telling you how wrong you are. But if you go to their house, it's a damn wreck. It's like,
right.
I'm not going to take advice
personal
from
lives in
somebody.
any way.
Right. Like if I go to your house and it's a mess and the dishes are just piled up to the ceiling, like I'm not going to take advice on how to run my life. I'm just not. I'm not sure where I was going. I apologize.
Yeah.
I don't see that kind of signal, like a messy life in reality, as like I don't take it as good a person to get life advice from. But I don't necessarily mean that person is like stupid or something, because like I think about the fact that like Einstein his desk was always a mess.
Yeah.
It was always messy because like some people like have a cluttered life, but are intelligent.
No. Yeah. Sorry, just to clarify, I'm not talking about a cluttered life. I mean, if you turn around and look at my shop, I can barely move in here. Like, honestly, I got so many projects going on all at once that it looks like a mess. It very seldom is this place clean per se, but it is cluttered. I'm talking about somebody who just lives not great, who lives in a way that you don't want to live, and I'm just not going to take advice.
And not just like in a dirty way, but I think like just your life, like if your life isn't put together and you're trying to tell someone else how like their life should be run, because I've had friends like that, or acquaintances who like, I know that your life is messed up, like you are not put together generally. So like that's where like you shouldn't be telling, hey, everyone else needs to be living their lives this way. Like you should be forced by the government to do such and such thing. Though, like, well, how would you know enough about that?
And if
it was like take romance advice from someone with a love addiction.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I guess, and if you notice, the things that they advocate the government do tends to be the things that they have not solved in their own lives. It's like, well, rather than me solve the problem that I have, I would prefer to force other people to conform to, the opposite of that, so that I feel better about myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or they want it to be taken care of too. Like I have all these problems that I can't fix, so let the government do it. Like everyone else needs this too, because I need it.
Well, so that's the thing. I think there's a difference between like having flaws and recognizing that you have them, maybe not even working on them, but recognizing that they're your own and no one else is to fix or take care of. But in the ones who want to outsource that to someone else, like maybe you never solve your own problems in your own life, but you never advocate for the government to come in and solve it for you. Like there's, I like, but there is a shit ton of people who are like, have so messed up their lives and are like, please, someone come save me. And for them, that's the state.
Number one problem. I think that's one of the number one problems is that people we've gotten so far away from the idea that maybe it is your life purpose to serve as an example of others of how not to live. Like we've gotten away from that. And some people, they make mistakes and they're just never going to be able to rebound from that. They're just not. So it's on us to go, hey, you don't want to turn out like, you know, little Susie down the road there, do you? I mean, look how she lived her life and look what became of it. You don't get to see those things when the government's coming in and going, yeah, we'll pay for the consequences of your actions. Sure. Just vote for us in the upcoming election, huh?
Well, then, or if you have academics and entertainers telling you that that life is actually fulfilling and good, and you should definitely go after it, like a life of pure dopamine chasing. Like, no, that's not good, and that's not fulfilling, and it's certainly not going to be helpful in the long run. So, and I think they actually are doing that because then they do want the state to take over those people's lives. It's more indirect, but they are pushing it on people too.
All right, let's finish this. Oh, wait, in chat, I just want to see. I see JB. Voting is like picking the bread for your shit sandwich. Oh, before I forget too, I think Richard Petz had given another super chat and said, thanks, Daniel. At least someone's paying attention.
Oh, that's so cute.
More.
Cute. Who's triggered now?
It doesn't say thanks. You read it wrong. It said thank.
Oh, thanks. Sorry. Thank Daniel. At least, yeah. And there's no comma between, because I like the what's it, direct address. So like, hi, Alex. So hi, comma, Alex, comma. Yes. So then you'd also need that
Some
too.
People
So
throw around punctuation like it's confetti at a parade.
Thank Daniel.
Commas everywhere.
Oh my god! Remember I was mentioning earlier my father-in-law was like trying to supposedly destroy him. He sends me this whole body of text. It's like this big.
Oh, wall text.
You can't even see my bottom hand. Yeah, and there was literally no punctuation, and my only response was to send him back a screenshot of an arrow pointing at a period key.
I would,
like, bro, you gotta stop.
What have I done? Like, when I get even like government letters, I forget what it was, like something about voting or what was it? I think jury duty or something. And I was saying I can't because I'm like in school or different state or whatever. And just remember, I like circled like where the grammar errors and stuff were too. Like, and I sent the form back. I was like, comma. I added in commas. I did whatever. Like, so I just like anytime I get forms that I have to like send back, I'm like, well, here are all the problems with this.
Wow.
That I hope when you send them to other people.
I do that when I play. I used to do this gaming review series on my channel where I would play games I've never played before. So that meant a lot of tutorials, and that meant a lot of text reading that I had to do for the audience. And I still do it to this day if I run into it, but I'm like correcting the grammar. And like so many times they miss like prepositions in prepositional phrases and shit like that, or they change plurality. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Like, just like send it to me, pay me, and I will proofread it for you, and and it will go forward. Like at work, that was like often so. Like when people would send letters to emails to people, they're like, read this for me, Alex, and tell me what's wrong with it, because they were like, you're the English instruction teacher, so I want to know.
I had to stop correcting friends because then I was just losing friends.
I don't have any anymore.
Learn to hold it in.
It's a good strategy, honestly. Like, hey, I've got too many friends. I'm going to start.
I hate it. Some people send me texts that they did speech to text, And I hate it. I'm like, don't stop, just stop. Like, and they're like, well, I'm driving. And I'm like, pull the fuck over. Like, first of all, you think it's any better you going, send text to Alex, blah, 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 like as a distraction while you're driving? No, pull over or have this conversation later. I don't want to have it like this.
I am going to save somebody somewhere a lot of trouble. And just to let you know, you can say the word for the punctuation you want to insert in speech to text, and it will put it on. Now, God forbid you actually have to write out quotation mark, a question mark, or period, because it's just going to put a period in there. But it is very useful for 99% of text that you're going to send via voice.
Good to know. I like the autocorrect stuff too. Sometimes I'll change when I do laughter. Sometimes I do like, ha 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 or bah ha ha, start with a B, and then it changes it to Baghdad. So then I just text people when I'm laughing and I say Baghdad. The other day I started with ah ha ha, I started with an A, and it changed it to Agatha. So now people are feeling Agatha. That's hilarious.
I think autocorrect is just a troll bot sometimes, honestly.
Yeah, what was it I was saying before too, that sometimes where it has like the preview or like the one words that they're gonna guess, and when I'm typing, sometimes it'll just put in like murder is one of the suggested words. Like, why do you think that I'm gonna be writing that? Like, have I said that enough that you think like the predicted text is gonna be that, or are you just telling me that I should be doing this?
It knows you. I could tell.
I think so too, yeah.
Autocorrect got me today. I wrote Dahmer in a tweet and it changed it to danger and I didn't notice it. Like, you bastard, I know I wrote Dahmer.
But he was dangerous. He's telling your phone.
I mean, that's true.
I'm unnerved. I am unnerved by the frequency in which autocorrect thinks I want to capitalize certain words that shouldn't be
me
capitalized.
too. Yeah. Bill.
Why? I hit space and it just changed it to capitalize. I'm like, what? Why? And then I got to go back and try to like get the cursor perfectly between the two letters and try to.
Yeah, but it'll change it again if I just retype.
The word May.
May.
It assumes you're talking about the month, and it's
no,
like,
that makes sense. That actually makes sense.
Oh, you get ones that
I follow it with the word have.
Yeah.
I'm talking about weird words that like would never be capitalized unless it's at the beginning of a sentence.
I was trying to think of weird words, and everything I thought of were just name brand things. I'm like, oh, these all should be capitalized. They're like Snickers. Richard Petts doesn't give another super chat. Thank you. It says, check out The Road by Cormac McCarthy if you're allergic to punctuation.
I haven't read that, but has anybody here read the Turn of a Screw?
Yeah, I had to read both of those for college.
Good God, the entire thing is just one run-on sentence. Like, I think there's three periods in the entire book.
I could not. And try reading that out loud.
So I had
take a breath.
Like, English teachers love Henry James. I think he is awful.
Yeah.
And they love Cormac McCarthy, and I think he's awful. But like, so I was not like the ideal English student in college, by the way, when they were like throwing this shit at me and they're like, Nathaniel Hawthorne. And I'm like, the Scarlet Letter sucks. Okay. But like, yeah, so Cormac McCarthy's The Road is pointless. And yeah, there's so many points. I don't know. Like, are you okay? I'm okay. That's like half the dialogue in the book. And then yeah, Henry James, like I actually had a teacher have us like translate a paragraph for Henry James as a project in class. And I was like, this is stupid. That just means he's being obtuse purposely. His language is awful. And like, she's like, I love his language. It's like a puzzle box. And it's like, I don't like it. I think it's stupid. And you guys know me. My favorite book is House of Leaves. So it's not as if I'm not up for a challenge.
Yeah.
It's just this stupid book. And it doesn't, like, I'm sorry. I get off on my English college
While we're on the
years.
subject, can we also admit that Johnny Cash is overrated? Can we do that too? Is that going to trigger many people?
I like the Joaquin Phoenix version of Johnny Cash's songs better than the Johnny
Really?
Cash. Yeah.
Interesting. I don't
from that terrible movie, but the songs were good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think Johnny Cash ever did a cover that was actually good.
Wow. Oh,
Sorry. I probably just lost half your audience right now. I apologize for that.
Our audience, they're
know.
huge Johnny Cash fans. They
They're
talk about
mad
it
flags
all the
right
Please
time.
lose friends quick. This is
Constantly
why I
bringing him
this
up.
is why I don't have 100,000 followers on Twitter. I'm too opinionated.
Oh yeah, Steph Cuervo Queen. Hagrid did die. Still don't know the actor's name, but
Robbie
it's been-
Coltrane.
Robbie Coltrane.
So
Been
did
a rough
Murder,
week.
She Wrote.
Yeah, like you didn't even. You just call her by the show name, not even Jessica Fletcher. It's just... Angela
Murder, She
Lansbury
Wrote
also,
woman.
yeah, also died. Poor Murder She Wrote. Yeah, so we were talking about that last night too. It was so sad. Love Angela Lansbury. Haggard was also great. It's been a rough week. I don't know. This is the rule of three. Who else died this year? Betty White. So we got Betty White.
Oh no, she died.
Oh, was that
still
last
died
year?
in 2021. She
Was
did
it?
not
Okay.
die.
Oh, I thought it was in January. Okay. It was her birthday. I think was in January.
Her,
so she
her birthday was in January, but she died a
Oh.
few days before,
Yeah,
or like the
or a
New
couple
Year's
weeks
Eve or
That's
something
right.
like that. Like
something
she,
yeah, that's right.
Remember how many times like it would like spread that she had died and she really hadn't? Like they did
Yeah.
it so many times that I
My
still
heart is
am like,
racing.
is she really dead?
Mhm.
Or
Do you
like
believe it? I don't know. Like I think it's just it's a conspiracy theory.
well, sort of like the people who believe Nelson Mandela died in prison.
Oh yeah. We've got the Berenstain
Yeah.
Mandela effect.
right.
I'm still convinced that they right as Betty White was on her deathbed, they went and like gave her a barrel of adrenochrome and just said, "No, not yet."
Not your time.
Yeah, yeah. Now she parades around as a Sarah Jessica Parker body double.
She was actually in the new Hocus
Yeah,
Pocus.
that stuff works really good.
I love Jethro Tull, Winky Wanky Woo. He says they did a good Cash cover, but grew up with some Jethro Tull. Okay, should we finish playing this video?
Or maybe it doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah. All right. Then.
We got the gist. I
Okay,
think
you're
it's
good.
funny she managed to get all of like 20 people
19.
to come listen to her talk.
There was another one that
Two
she
of them
got yelled
decided
at,
to just
right?
scream at her.
Yes.
Yeah, there's the one on Gab too, or I don't know if that's a different one. Same one.
That's the same thing.
That is the same. Okay.
Only
so-
without that guy talking in the middle of it.
All right. Well, let's do some bad tweets, I guess. We'll go and talk to let's see some Twitter twats. How do we have David? Is it pronounced Levitt?
Yeah, I have no idea. I think this guy is not human at this point. I'm pretty sure he's actually like a bot. I mean, he's the toothbrush guy. He tried he called the cops on an employee at Target for not letting him buy an electric toothbrush for a penny, and that penny was actually a marking for the display thing for the inventory. And yeah, he called the cops on this retail worker to try to get a toothbrush.
Wow.
And this was a couple years ago, and everyone was like, "Man, you're fucking psycho." And then like everyone continues to think that. And recently, he was going after people over Christopher Columbus Day, and he said that this woman, this politician, he called the Vermont CPS on her, and was trying to get other people to call Vermont CPS on her for she wasn't doing anything weird with her kids, by the way. It's just because she was celebrating Christopher Columbus Day. And he tied up CPS's phone lines because he does have a lot of followers. And then someone reported him for doing that because, oh my God, like on Twitter, because he was calling for people to brigade her on CPS. And so the report, though, they decided that, it didn't violate our rules, of course. And so he said, some German Nazi anti-Semitic fucking piece of shit tried to report me, and now they're going to burn in hell with Hitler. That was his very reasonable response.
Very reasonable.
Yeah. But I had sent you two of probably scores of his tweets, because I swear to God, he spent all day Monday doing this. where if someone mentioned Christopher Columbus Day, he would say, "You're celebrating torture, rape, murder, and enslavement. Why are you celebrating torture, rape, murder, and enslavement?" To everyone.
Jeez.
It didn't, including one. Go ahead. I was going to say.
I just noticed you're not following him.
Yeah.
It's unsafe.
If not, why not? I'll hang up.
Yeah, but like one of the things he did though is that so this is why I think he's a bot at this point, is that one of the ones that he replied to the same way to, it said, "It's funny how Republicans are the first ones to wish you a happy Columbus Day." And he replied to that one, "Why are you celebrating torture, rape, murder, and enslavement?" And it was like, that's very unhuman of you. Like, I don't know. But he's just like, he's got it copied and pasted and like ready to go. And he's like searching Twitter for people to say happy Columbus Day.
Wow, he's got a real issue with Columbus. You should talk to him about that.
Yeah, watch Narrative Dissonance last Monday.
I know.
Columbus.
I didn't know that cannibal, like the word cannibal, comes from a tribe in the Caribbean. Who knew?
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
That was not a thing that they needed a word for until they found these continents. And
as someone who's talked a lot about, had a fascination with cannibalism, I'm surprised I did not know the origin of that word. Armin Muse, anyone? And then going back to penis talk, I guess.
Well, the thing is, he was replying to people with this who were saying, because a lot of Italian Americans celebrate Christopher Columbus Day in America to celebrate Italian American heritage, because that's why we started celebrating it in America. Like specifically, that's why it's celebrated here. So it's sort of like insane to act like that's not part of the history of why we celebrate it in North America. Like, I don't know. He's just like, he's fucking insane. I've never seen anyone lose it quite so much as he did that day. But considering he's the toothbrush guy, I should not be surprised.
Well, Daniel sent us this link too. I don't know what it is, but he says it's cringy.
You guys will appreciate this, I promise.
I thought that was that person's skin, not a shirt at first.
All right, let's see. This audio
just bad lighting. Just bad lighting.
Ripping
I bought a whiteboard.
Okay, yeah, that's playing audio.
Yep. I bought a whiteboard for this, so y'all had better pay attention. So gender is a spectrum, right? Wrong. Wait, I still need that. This little line does play into it, though. We'll label this side the concept of boy, concept of girl on this side. 3 marks not necessary. 1 line is not enough. Chaka, chaka. Try again. So up here we have femininity, and down here we have masculinity. What the? Off-screen editing. Whoa. Oh, it's bigger. So now we have the 2-dimensional plane of gender rather than just one singular spectrum. Girl, boy, feminine, masculine. X-axis equals concept. Y-axis equals expression. And that's all you need to know, right? Wrong. Still need that. There's gotta be a 3rd axis. I'm calling this bad boy gender saturation, as in how much the idea of these labels matter to you. We'll label this side H for heck yeah, it matters. And this side I for I don't give a fuck. Oh yeah, Z is saturation. I call this the infinite gender cube, TM. There's no actual trademark. I just thought it was cute. Example of hypothetical gender. We have the butch lesbian. Before we dive in, these are arbitrary numbers. Concept of gender, 100. Girl. Expression of gender, -100. Masculine. Saturation of gender, 50. Yeah, definitely care about it quite a lot. Heck yeah. Why'd you write 50 when the others are 100? I wanted to spice it up, okay? New gender just dropped. Here we have the elusive femboy. Concept, -100. Boy. Expression, 100. Feminine. Saturation at 50 for heck yeah. What's this doodad right here? This is the point of androgyny. To be at this point, it's more about the vibes than the looks. Oh, would you look at that? It's the agender dot. Gender concept, 0 for no. Gender expression, whatever. Gender saturation, -infinity, my friends. Whoa, where did this blob come from? It's me. Hello. I have a lot of fluidity and variance in my gender, but I typically exist in this concept of girl and feminine expression region. Most of the time, I have a high saturation. It matters to me. Every now and then, I'm like, no, I don't get. Once again, the infinite gender cube. Give me your coordinates. I bought a whiteboard for this, so y'all. I bought a whiteboard for this.
I won't even stop.
Guys, so you're going to take something nobody understands, right? Like we're all like, they keep having to explain it because it doesn't make any sense, but you're gonna use math to do it.
The way to get people. I mean, I like math, but I was really zoning out. I'm like, how do I pay
It's
attention
a
onto-
three-dimensional plane. That's all.
I was
Yeah,
just
no, I mean, like,
laughing
I
so
get the
hard at
math.
your hands coming up to it. You're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I was,
but it's still going.
I was
Yeah,
watching you all's reaction more than I was watching that because I've already seen it, of course, and that
Right.
was great. You guys are awesome. Like, you're just looking at this like, is this guy serious? Like, what?
Because again, like I don't mind the math. Like I get that. It's just like, why are you bothering to like this is your like you really need to do all of this to understand. It's not that complicated.
No, I do gotta give props. This person has a really good sense of humor. I thought it was pretty funny. You know, some of
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
I
quirky
did
things
too.
that they did. That was great. But
There's some
But
silly
oh wait, I still need this.
Yeah.
That was a funny
Yeah.
joke, yeah. But like to me the problem is like what is it? Was it concept and expression? And I was like, biological reality has no place in this. Like,
and saturation. And saturation.
and,
Everything
and
was just
saturation is the
Yeah.
Z. Like
yeah. It was great, right? I don't know. I thought you guys were
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
no, thank you for bringing that into our lives.
Yes.
Burned into my memory now.
I mean, next time somebody's insisting that you call them by their proper gender pronouns, just ask them what their coordinates are. Like, I'm trying to understand you as a person, and I really, this is important to me. I need to know, what are your coordinates on the
I'm
infinite
doing
gender
like
cube?
parabolas and stuff too now, and like
Yeah, I think mine would be like a corkscrew that just runs through the whole thing. I'm not really sure.
I dig it. All right, Alex, I think this is another one that you have here. What do we got? We got Marcel for Congress, and he says the Jewish community will not get a pass on their long history of anti-Blackness, from their role in slavery to anti-Black American hate to their hatred towards Black Jews. Let me be very clear about that.
Like I was like, I think the Jewish community's role in slavery historically is to be slaves.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there for a long time.
If any race or culture gets a pass for having slaves, I think the Jews would. I think they qualify, right? They've been slaves so much that they should get their turn for a while, right? Is that is that okay to say? I don't know.
Where's our resident Jew in like Motown? He's not here today, but we can ask him. He's Orthodox.
I'll
I'm
order
he
a
knows.
yarmulke from Amazon, and I'll get right back with you guys.
That's right. Okay. Jew bitch. Yeah. Maybe they actually just were meant to say like you bitch, but then they're Hispanic.
God.
We're gonna be a band, right? It's gonna be from anything, I think. However racist you're gonna be.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying other people call me that.
I know. I'm just saying a lot of things that I probably shouldn't be saying. So,
although remember, I'm white, Alex. I'm not.
You are white, Alex. Yeah,
specifically white.
According to those people.
Literally those.
And honestly, that was unintentional. So we've got another tweet, a screenshot of a tweet by David Alexander, and it's in response to J.K. Rowling saying, "I read." Oh wait, man, there's just too many.
Okay, so J.K. Rowling had someone asked her this question: how do you sleep at night knowing you've lost a whole audience from buying your books? J.K. Rowling tweeted an image of this saying, "I read my most recent royalty checks and find the pain goes away pretty quickly."
Yeah,
which is pretty funny.
Like, that's hilarious. Daniel, how do you feel about check being spelled with a Q-U-E?
I'm ignoring that. I don't want to get into punctuation talk again. We've already spent 97% of this podcast talking about
that is how they spell it in England.
It is,
okay?
yeah.
Right, that's
fine.
I'm okay with it. I can overlook checks because that if I could choose how to spell it, it's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know who this David Alexander is guy. but I have a sneaking suspicion he's probably written no less than 3 books in his life, and none of them took off, and he's very jealous.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
He probably got like 10 purchases on his Amazon listing for the second one.
Do you want me to read it, Alex? Or do you want
Yeah,
to?
go ahead.
Okay. David Alexander says, and this is why I cannot separate the art from the artist. She truly does not care about the harm she causes and is continuing to profit from royalties and the fandom's refusal to divest.
No punctuation, no capitalization.
Yeah, I was having trouble. I was
There's
running out of breath.
comma.
There's one comma.
One comma.
One comma.
First of
Why
all,
do you have so much more tonal variance when you're reading somebody else's stuff than you are when you're talking normally?
Because I'll read it more obnoxiously when the people I think who are typing it are annoying.
You have a very pleasant voice. I'd like to hear more of that.
She's been like, people have commented that she's got a radio
They
quality
keep saying,
voice.
yeah, I'm surprised because I talk in a sultry voice like this.
When you
Not
go
bad. I may have to go off the show now. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, someone says she loses 20 points for not just posting the Woody Harrelson meme, the one where he's crying and touching his face with the money.
Love it.
Yeah, that's the one.
I love how mad people are when they're like, we tried to cancel this person and people still buy their book.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't care.
Someone said that, everyone in their life told them to stop buying her books, and they had it on audiobook and they had hardback copies, and they were like, all right, fine. And they go to Kindle and they bought all the books again. And then we're like, see, everyone, I bought them again. Like, go fuck yourself.
I love it.
And it was for that person, it was specifically about, don't tell me what to do. And, which is fair. But yeah, like, it's so ridiculous. Like, I know some people who literally read those books every year. It's like their one thing. And it's actually, she's had such a huge impact on boys getting into reading. Like that, like a lot of teachers have complained that, I was having such a hard time getting the boys in the class to enjoy reading. I bring in Harry Potter, they freaking love it, and they become readers. And it's like, see, that's a great positive impact because boys are falling behind in school. So that's like awesome. Like even if she did nothing else, which she does do a lot of other things, that alone is enough in my book.
I didn't realize that she got guys into reading like that. So good on her. I'll say that, like, hey, I mean, I loved the books growing up, but then like looking back on it, I understand the criticisms of like, what's this magic system? There's no like actual thing. It's just like random stuff there. Harry is kind of a lame character, but at least he's easy enough to like insert yourself into him as a even though he's kind of bland. But again, I also loved it. I cried when Sirius died and when Dumbledore died. Spoiler alert! Sorry for
I was like, spoilers.
When I was a young pre-internet lad and I was reading books, there was a series I loved. It was called the Wheel of Time by Robert.
Oh yeah, I know it.
Robert Jordan, and I absolutely loved it. Like he did such a great job explaining the characters and the battle sequences and things like that. Well, Amazon recently came out with that as a show with excellent graphics. Now that we're able to do it, and the storyline was still pretty much there, but they woke it up a bit, and I'm just like, come on, guys.
I only recently saw the trailer, and I was like, well, I don't remember hearing I have Amazon Prime, and I'm on it all the time, and it never played me a single trailer for it. I thought that was weird in itself, but then like it did look like I was like, and that it was probably not, like I could tell that it probably was Amazon had fiddled with it quite.
Yeah, it's good. As far as woke shows go, it's pretty good. I would still watch it. However, there's like, for example, when the characters start out in that little tiny town, that little rural community way off, and somehow that's a multiracial community, and I don't know how that happens. That doesn't make any sense at all. Like you're gonna have a monoculture there, but somehow everybody's a different race and different gender and different, like it doesn't make any sense. Next, like you see there's a campfire scene, and you see like they made it a point to show a couple gay guys sitting behind, cuddling while they're, they just got out of battle and they're getting ready to, getting rest for the night or whatever. It's like, come on. They were trying to stuff that in, pun intended.
Yeah, got it.
But I mean, other than a few instances like that, it's not bad. It's pretty good.
That's what, if it's not, it's not overly preachy and stuff, if they're just like inserting things here and there.
Yeah, it's never as good as the book. It's never ever as good as the book. But far as like, shows like that, it's pretty well done.
Well, my problem with them always adding like a gay couple into like a short sequence in shit is that I know they're cutting it.
They're editing it out
for other audiences, like depending on what country it's showing in, and I find that to be so jaded. Like it's so cynical to me that it's like, in this audience we're gonna push this narrative, but in this audience we're gonna conform to their ideas that there wouldn't be gay people there. I'm like,
and just to be clear, like if it makes sense, if it makes sense for the storyline, if the story is about gay guys, whatever, that's cool. If it makes sense for the writing. But what was the phrase? I heard this phrase a long time ago in writer's room. They have this phrase for things that are just unnecessary that they can cut, that doesn't add anything of value to the actual plot line, right? I want to say something like shoe leather or something. I don't remember what the phrase was, but it was a great description of that, when writers will go through and just cut all kind of stuff out. And that's one of the things that it doesn't advance the storyline. It doesn't help the plot line. It doesn't, enhance the characters, the main characters at all. It was just like clearly was just stuffed in there for that purpose.
Right.
Yeah. And script writing in the classes that I've taken too, I think they would also just say like trim the fat, but then it was pretty much scenes that don't push the story forward, then you cut those out. Like, because in Western cinema type of things, like we're faster paced, that like everything needs to be going toward your goal, and so if it doesn't do anything, then you take it out. For me, I will allow exceptions if it's a comedy though. So if the scene is just like, here's a goofy thing for the characters that are doing, like, oh yeah, I'll keep that in because it's funny. But for anything else though too, like, yeah, like I get it that you want to keep it going.
To me, I feel like the best stories have scenes that do accomplish multiple things in a scene. Like you get characterization, you get moving plot forward, you get world building, all in the same thing. I think that's the sign that the writer is actually doing the work they need to do. A good example of that is like The Moon is the Harsh Mistress or Soylent Green. Like they both do that a lot, where they do all three at the same time. They get characters together that need to be together through a world building element that shows you how the world works, while at the same time moving the plot forward and showing you how these characters work. It's like, that's actually that's the pivotal, what you want from your scenes and narrative. But God, there's so many stories these days where it's just like bloated mess. Army of the Dead is a very good example.
Yes. That was a mess of a movie. I think this is the last of like the actual tweet, the bad tweets, I think. Yeah. Who sent this one, Alex or Juliet?
I did.
Oh wait. Oh, maybe
it's related to the Biden's Bumble from.
Oh, okay. So I just missed. All right, back to Biden's Bumbles.
No. I think we went over it last week. The Made in America. I have.
Oh yeah. That's right. Okay.
Made in America.
Oh, so this is what she. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do remember reading this one now. Okay.
Yeah, so and she said, Lauren. How do you say her last name? Bobert.
Bobert. I'm guessing Bobert.
Bobert. She said two words. Let's go, Brandon.
I forgot.
Then all of these blue checks crawling out of the woodwork to tell her what a moron she is.
David Hogg, the genius at Harvard.
Oh, George Takei. He's the reason I got freaking kicked off of Twitter because he's a bitter old hag.
Oh, that's the hag? Okay.
Yeah, he's the hag. I met him before though, and he was nice back then in the Nickelodeon show Super Ninjas. And the first thing he said to me was, "Oh my."
Doesn't Bobert sound like an extra on Teletubbies or something?
Yeah, I was so keeping reading it like Bobert, Lord. But what do we have? So David Hogg said 3 words. You are an idiot. Chip Franklin says, is Lauren Boebert dumb as dirt or just unable to count? George Takei said she can't count. John Cooper said, breaking, Lauren Boebert just completely humiliated herself, tweeting 2 words, let's go, Brandon. That's 3 words. She's such a friggin' moron. And none of them realized that Biden was the one who said 2 words, made in America.
She's trolling them.
Yeah.
They totally fucking fell for it.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's a great troll. I love it. Oh, hey, do you guys want some black pill?
Yeah.
A little dose of black pill for you. I think you guys already watched it in the Discord, but for everyone else,
Oh, yeah, I saw this clip. One of the few things you've shown today that I've actually seen.
Oh, yeah, okay. Climate activists defile Van Gogh sunflowers at the National Gallery and glued themselves to the wall.
Yeah,
just
the
wanna see you guys
comment
so-
section on this was fantastic.
Oh, really?
I literally have Van Gogh's sunflowers
Oh
as
my
my
God.
eyeglass case.
Wow.
Van Gogh is like my favorite artist.
Yeah, no
so
wonder you're really
pissed. Like
upset by
you
this.
saw, I said death penalty.
Death penalty, yeah. All right, let's watch this.
That's hilarious. You said Van Gogh is
You
your
did that.
favorite artist. I saw this clip and I immediately thought, this is his most expensive piece? Van Gogh is so overrated.
Is that the most expensive one? Oh,
No, it's his most positive one.
okay.
It's very
Oh.
expensive though, and in the millions, isn't it?
But they all are, yeah.
All of them
After he
are.
died, yeah.
I'm pretty
Ridiculous.
sure Starry Night
Like
is his most
ridiculous.
expensive
My
one.
my
Don't
my
actually need sound.
15-year-old could paint a flower better than that.
You should
Yeah,
see
now
his
it looks
realist
better.
first.
Now it looks
That
better.
looks better.
It's very modern.
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize it was paint at first. I thought it was like tomato juice.
It's
It
tomato
is tomato
soup.
sauce.
Oh, it is tomato sauce. Oh, someone was saying that
Yeah.
was
Yeah, it's a
juice.
can of
Or
tomato soup.
paint. Okay.
And this is so funny. These are Just Stop Oil activists, and this is not the first time that they've done this. And the thing that's so crazy is that they are now setting up to glue their hands
Yeah.
to the frame
Yeah,
with
that's what, like-
petroleum-based glue.
Yeah, that's what I was
Hold on.
saying. Which is like, oh, I'm
I
sure
don't know
they're-
enough about Van Gogh's work, but please tell me that's an oil painting. That would be awesome. That would be hilarious.
It is an oil painting, but museums cover their oil paintings, their paintings now with glass.
Oh, for sure. I'm
Yeah.
just saying it's an oil painting. And
It
it's
is.
Stop oil. It's just the
Okay.
connection.
Oh yeah,
is-
so you can
is
see
there.
that it's not actually like the glass is there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Okay.
For sure.
But
If
you know
that's
the frame is actually worth a lot of money too, because that's
yeah,
the
if
original.
that's
frame.
even the real painting.
Yeah, if it is,
okay.
I mean, even if that isn't the original, I imagine it's pretty close. It's probably very old. So it's, I mean, this is just, this is why I said death penalty.
Yeah.
I am not okay with people.
You said death
destroying art.
penalty? Oh my
Yeah, I
God.
know.
Death
I
penalty
know.
was really
Wow.
escalated.
Remind me not to make fun of your art in the
You're gonna make fun
God.
of my
We'll
art. You're not
murder
allowed
you.
to deface it or
Yeah.
I will not
destroy
deface your
it.
art.
And actually, I'd probably be more okay with you defacing my art than I would be you defacing one of the like greats. And honestly, I don't give a shit about Andy Warhol. Go ahead, attack the modernist period. I don't give a shit. But when it comes to the impressionists, that's my favorite time period. No.
Okay. I see you over there, Alex. I see you.
So how about some Elon Musk stuff? Here we've got.
Wait. Did we even know why they were doing that?
Yeah.
Environment stuff.
It's
Yeah.
Just Stop Oil. It's a group of activists who go around to museums, throw shit at the paintings, then glue themselves to the frames and demand that people stop using oil.
It's like
really-
if your stunt doesn't deliver a message immediately, and it's not immediately clear what you're protesting, did it really work? Because
Yeah,
as far
right.
as I can
Yeah.
tell, this thing's getting shared around just to make fun of these idiots that
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
just glued themselves to a wall and sprayed tomato juice on it. Like what? What's the point? They're not branding
They
experts.
Honestly, they're
any
narcissists.
difference.
They don't actually give a shit about the environment. They're narcissists. They're just
Because they
trying to
don't.
get
If they're
attention.
using the super glue, that like they don't care about what they're actually using. That tomato juice or whatever it was is probably also has oil or something in it.
Well, I'm sure their clothing does too. Like
Mhm.
the Just Stop Oil acrylic on their shirts
Yeah, they-
probably is
uh-huh.
made from oil. Like that's the thing that's so stupid about these people. Is it's like you're literally using oil. It's like here, like I knew about an environmental activist from like 15 years ago who basically decided he was never going to get into a vehicle again. Like not just not drive, but never get into a vehicle again.
Which at least I can respect that you're committing to it.
Yeah. I thought he was dumb, but at the same time, at least he was actually principled and like literally never, like he did everything he could to avoid oil. I thought it was idiotic, but I thought it was principled, and that was to me better than being both idiotic and unprincipled.
Yes.
Which is what I feel is what's going on with a lot of these just stop oil people.
I agree. And Richard Pett says those two are in a real sticky situation. Love it. All right, back to Elon Musk then. We've got Jason J. Smart saying Elon Musk's Starlink says it can no longer afford to give Ukraine free service and asks the Pentagon to pay for it. Starlink had been a game changer in the war. This comes days after Ukrainian ambassador, Melnik Andrij, told Musk to, quote unquote, fuck off. And Elon Musk responds, we're just following his recommendation.
And with the hand shrug.
Shrug.
I love him. Like, he's one of the most entertaining people on the internet.
He's great.
Yeah, I heard about a tweet he posted to Sam Harris and said something like, perhaps it's possible to meditate a little too much.
Awesome. Yeah. That cat looks so much like Lily. It's freaky.
Hi, Kitty.
I don't want to bring my cats in. Yesterday, my one cat, Corey, jumped on my computer tower during Alex's and my stream and then stepped on the power button and just turned off everything. And I said, right after I said, he's going to push that button and then boom.
Oh, no, sorry, I'm going to disappear. And then blackness. It was amazing.
That's my buddy Aspen.
Aspen. Hi, Aspen. All right, I've got two more. I don't know what this thing is. Who posted this? The BCG King of the E-Girls. Was that Juliet? Did you and Christina's court or something? Someone posted it. I think it was in here. Do I not play it? Maybe Eat the Hat Guy. I have no idea what this is. All right, let's see. This thing? Do you guys?
Oh, this was me. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just know it by the content, not by the.
Oh, sure. All right. Well, let's find out.
Like a child in my
People
own
in
house.
love, they yell at each other all the time.
Oh, that's true. Ask him. He's been married for how long?
Over 20-something years.
Over 20.
Look at him though. He look mad. You don't look happy, brother. You don't look happy.
No comment.
He's very happy.
Sherman Chow, a former TV show bailiff and current Harris County deputy charged with his wife's murder.
Oh my God.
Whoa, that escalated quickly.
Renard Spivey appeared before a judge today. He's facing very specific rules for his bond. David Gonzalez
Constantly like a child in
Holy
my
crap.
Damn.
I only watched the beginning of it. I saw like, oh, the part where he's like, oh, he's happy. Did not see that coming.
That explains the 15 million views on it. Holy crap, that escalated so
quick. Jeez Louise. Wow.
I guess he wasn't happy.
I was like saving that more for the end because I thought like, oh, this is like a lighthearted thing. Didn't realize it was going to end in murder.
It took a turn.
Murder.
Well, I mean, the only question here really is he happy now?
Yeah. Love prison.
Like, find your bliss, man. Whatever it takes. Find your bliss.
I think this is the last one.
Wait, am I like supporting like murdering spouses? Is that what just happened
Yeah.
right now?
Yes.
I feel like that could be taken out of context. I hope nobody flips
And
this
it
up
will.
and posts it around
Like
the
a few
internet.
years
I hope.
later, this clip is going to be taken, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Daniel."
And then
Wagner.
Daniel Wagner arrested for the murder of his.
Please don't do that.
So I'm not into sports at all, but my boyfriend does all football stuff. So he sent me this, but I thought it was pretty great. Let's see, Todd Bowles and coaching against Mike Tomlin this Sunday. Actually, I'm just going to play it. I think he's just quoting it. So let's listen to him.
You and Mike Tomlin are two of the few black head coaches in the league. I wonder what your relationship is like with them and your thoughts on Steve Wilkes joining that fold.
I have a very good relationship with Tomlin. We don't look at what color we are when we coach against each other. We just know each other. I have a lot of very good white friends that coach in this league as well, and I don't think it's a big deal as far as us coaching against each other. I think it's normal. Wilkes got an opportunity to do a good job. Hopefully he does it. And we coach ball. We don't look at color.
But you also understand that representation matters too, right? And that when young aspiring coaches or even football players, they see you guys they see someone.
He's so done with her shit.
Well, when you say you see you guys and look like them and grow up like them, means that we're oddballs to begin with. And I think the minute you guys stop making a big deal about it, everybody else will as well.
Yeah.
Damn
So
right.
chill, but also like a little bit mad, and I kind of don't blame him.
Yeah, you can see like I don't want to have to talk about this. Like,
Right.
this is football. We're like,
Ask me, and like, I mean, every time that someone who's like a minority in the reporters ask them questions about representation and bullshit like that, you're like, could you ask me about the thing I actually am doing?
Yeah.
Like, instead of representation, like the ones who actually give a shit about whatever it is that they do, they're like, I don't want to talk about representation. I want to talk about the work. And this is just an insult to everything I work hard for. Like,
Especially since she like was pushing for like, well, but
Right.
you do recognize
Well,
how
you
important it.
understand.
Yeah.
What a jerk. Like, no, he just told you he doesn't care.
Yeah. Like he already explained it to you, and now you're just
Actually, his complete lack of caring is complete evidence that he is a suspected white supremacist.
Yeah. Thank you for
He's a
saying what we were
modern day
all
Uncle
thinking.
Tom, and he needs to get his shit straight because he needs to understand that we need to get more black representation in the sports because
Snap,
clearly there's not enough black guys in football, and
Yes.
definitely not enough black guys in basketball. And
It's a serious problem we really need to address as a country.
Let's start some, a Kickstarter or GoFundMe. Help make this happen.
well, it's actually time to
Currently-
go back and look at his entire social media feed going back 15, 20 years and hold anything that he said that might be misconstrued as, racist, and hold him accountable. Like, this guy needs to be held accountable.
well, because otherwise he's going to be the black face of white supremacy among football.
That's right. That's right. He's perpetuating the problem. We can't let this stand, guys.
Well, that's enough football talk for me for one day.
You're as big a fan of sports as I am. I
Yeah,
think.
Yeah, no,
Right,
that'll
okay.
do it for the season for me, honestly.
I know. Yeah. Well, that's the only reason that I care like a little bit, and that I get into fantasy football leagues though. So I joined my boyfriend's, like, he's in like 5, so I've gotten 2 of them. But the only way I play, I auto draft, and then I take like the highest points that they recommend. I never trade because I tell everyone I play fantasy football like I play Pokemon. I keep the first ones that I get, and I never trade anything.
You are loyal to the end.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't care. I always end up with like T. Kelsey, who's the kicker, or Travis Kelsey, I think his name. So I always say it. He's my boy because he never lets me down. But that's like the I only know them by like first letter, period, last name. And I don't know like what any of them, like RB. Okay, like I'm gonna put in RB. Yeah.
That's literally how I played when I used to work in restaurants. Like, I would always get in the league, even though I had no idea what's going on. I would just play the numbers, and I won 2 years in a row.
I won 1 year. I got like second place or something like the first year, and then I won the second year of it. And it was just like, yeah, I don't know. But then everyone else is like, okay, who are we gonna put? Like, we need to like they go through like this really in-depth thing. I'm like, I don't know. This one says 13.79 compared to 13.6, so I'll put this guy in this week.
Right.
All right. Well, anything else, Daniel? Any last words? Last words.
We're ready to kill you on the stream.
Yeah.
Very ominous.
Yeah, because we're gonna kill you. I don't understand what you're confused about here.
Yeah.
To be fair, you did text that to me earlier, and I thought it was your classic
joking.
deadpan,
Yeah.
humor. And no, you're serious.
That's why
You're serious. No final words. No final words today. I wish I had some great, advice to leave the audience with, but I really don't.
He has a cat named Aspen. So
if you remember anything about me tonight, remember I have a cat named Aspen.
he's got a hat. He's got some rad red glasses, and your Unframe of Mind, and they can follow you on Twitter.
You can follow me anywhere at Unframe of Mind, and we have my YouTube channel. All that good stuff.
Unframe of Mind. Except he won't be posting on anything anymore because we're gonna kill him now. So
right, yeah. So I don't even know why you're giving me the opportunity.
No, never mind. Shut up. Let's
like If you guys want to remember me, you guys can go to unframeofmind.com until I can no longer pay the bill because I'm dead and haven't paid the bill on the website.
Awesome. Oh, Mutterfetcher's asking, who is the Pikachu of football? I have no idea.
What a dumb question.
Kaepernick. I don't know.
Like he
Guy
doesn't
not
play.
in
So he's not
football
even
anymore.
doing one. Yeah.
Pikachu of football. Which one of those players has a great tail, a little black tail?
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, who's electric? All right. Well, thank you so much for
Makes me
joining us,
feel all
Daniel.
tingly when he touches me.
So tingly. Oh.
I could take this all day, so you just cut me
it's
off.
fine. Just end the stream now. Whatever. No, I really appreciate you coming. It was a lot of fun to have you. Hopefully you'll come back. If you stay alive, we'll see. We'll find out after the stream.
Maybe with a little mercy. Yeah.
Yeah. And
We'll
thank
vote.
you all for watching. Oh, was that Alex?
I said we'll vote on whether. or
We'll
not we
vote.
can
Oh yeah, democracy. We all love democracy.
Yeah.
Great. Reminder again, we've got book club October 30th at Slaughterhouse 5. Kurt Vonnegut, Juliet is hosting it, and we decided on 11 a.m. Pacific / 2 p.m. Eastern. We've got a time.
We did it.
Movie club, we've got that in the Discord server this Sunday at like 9:30 Eastern, probably. I don't know what movie. It's some whatever horror movie I can get a copy of. Totally on the up and up means to be able to stream. And next week we've got our same old outside of next Friday. As long as I get it edited, we've got the interview with Edward Brower, CEO of Utreon, that Alex did. So that was a good one. If you guys are interested in subscriber stuff like Subscribestar, Patreon, Utreon is a good way of doing stuff. And he is an objectivist, and he's there about individualism and free thought and all that. So check out that interview. And anything else? Okay.
Nope.
Good. Silence. Hilarious way to end the stream. Thank you again, Daniel, and thank you everyone else. Have a good weekend. It's Friday. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yay. Bye.
Thanks for sticking around until the end. If you're new to Unsafe Space, check out our deep content library that includes discussions with everyone from James Lindsay to Brett Weinstein. And please consider helping to fund our work by visiting unsafespace.com/donate. You can find us on a variety of social media platforms, and you can find a community of like-minded individuals on our Unsafe Space Discord server, which is open to financial supporters at any level. We hope to see you there.
Warning. This is an unsafe space. Dangerous ideas have been detected. The content of this production is known by the state of California to cause unregulated ideation that may be harmful to bureaucrats. Association with the following individuals or tacos is strictly prohibited. Apropos of nothing, I was just wondering, how would you feel about another pandemic? Your president is in full control of his mental faculties. If you think about it, no one should be allowed to express opinions. But don't. Think about it, I mean. That's not your job. Thinking has been scientifically proven to be less efficient than compliance. Science, scientific, and scientifically are registered trademarks of the World Economic Forum. Unauthorized use is prohibited. Computer voice courtesy. Never mind, that last line is fake news. Please disregard it and return to your safe space immediately. There will be cake.